All right, welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you're doing on YouTube, any questions that you have about your YouTube channel, any questions that you have about any of this stuff, if it's making videos, making thumbnails, if it's mental stuff when it comes to YouTube, anything YouTube related, or if you just want to ask me just a general question, feel free. But there's a form down in the description of this video where you can put your question so that we can get it answered here live on the show. I also want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. TubeBuddy will help you tag your videos in a proper way, help you find, all the good stuff. TubeBuddy will help you optimize your videos for discovery and find the right types of videos to actually make for the type of content that you create. It'll help you optimize everything so that you can increase your chances of actually showing up in all places on the platform. And you can even test your thumbnails to make sure what you're doing is effective as well when it comes to YouTube, because you know how important getting that click is. And this stream is, so you can install TubeBuddy for free right now at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. There's a link for that down in the description. Or you can check out StreamYard. So StreamYard is what I'm using to live stream this with right now with StreamYard. They are a co-sponsor of this live stream. And with StreamYard, you can stream live to multiple destinations with just a few clicks. To create a broadcast is easy. You just click a button and then you actually go into a studio. And then it's pretty much as easy as just turning on your webcam. And then, of course, it's easy to invite guests. All you do is click a button that says invite. You copy and paste the link, send it to anybody that you want to join your stream, and they can come right in without any complicated stuff for the computer. And you can even add graphics to the stream as well to make your live streams look pro, which is really cool, including countdowns and things like that. So make sure if you are live streaming that you check out StreamYard.com. Again, it's what I'm using for this live stream here. Also, my brother made a website called Streamer Templates. If you are somebody that is already using StreamYard, make sure that you check out streamertemplates.com so that you can make your streams look awesome. They even do custom work over there. So if you have, something that you need customized, actually, I think he took some of the custom stuff off, but he's still doing some of the customs as well. So make sure that you check that out also. Okay. So now, make sure, if you haven't yet, that you go ahead and you get your question down in the form down below. We don't have a lot of questions in there yet, and I want to make sure that I get your question answered here on the stream. So make sure that you do that if you haven't yet. So first, I want to say thanks. Thank you. I crossed 700,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel yesterday. I had a sip of coffee for that. Cheers. Thank you. There we go. 700,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So it was a pretty awesome day. As I'm sure you can imagine, I wake up and Vigard, actually, I saw his tweet come through. And, he congratulated me on Twitter, and I was like, oh, sweet, passed it, woo. Because I was looking and looking and looking, and I was like, I'll just wait and I'll check it, once I get to the mall. And then I saw that tweet as soon as I got there. So that was awesome to see. So thanks for that tweet, Vigard. And everybody for, that's watching the stream right now, thank you for just being a part of this journey, because it's just an awesome thing for me, as I'm sure it's an awesome thing for a lot of you as well when it comes to your YouTube channels. So thank you so much for, being a part of this. It means a lot, and this has created, just an awesome experience for me. So thank you very much for that. Now, enough about me. Let's talk about you and your YouTube channel. So again, if you're just joining us, what we're doing is I'm answering your YouTube questions. So if you have a question about what it is that you're doing here on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and you put that question down in the form below right now, because I answer them in the order that they come in, the order that they are received. So make sure that you do that. And I actually need to get my channel open here really quick so I can make sure that I see stuff as they come in. Really quick, I also want to say,
welcome to the Nimminati.
To Modern Relaxation. Modern Relaxation, welcome to the channel membership. Welcome to the Nimminati. Next time that you are on Facebook, make sure you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. Awesome group over there. I live stream into there one time per month. And the idea is to where basically I'll look at channels, I'll do that kind of stuff from those live streams and talk about things that are directly related to the channel members. So make sure that you join that Facebook group because you definitely want to be in on that when we're doing that sort of thing there. Also, Insane McLean, welcome back to the channel membership. You already know the deal because you've already been in there. So make sure as well that you look for the Nimmin VIP Facebook group. You know the drill. You know what's going on there already. So just make sure that you do that. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the questions here so that we can make sure that we get your question answered here on the show today. And really quick before we do that, I just want to go ahead and say that there is a link here right now at the top of the screen. So if you're somebody, or at the top of the chat actually. So if you are somebody that has, that loves the live streams, loves the information that you get out of these, but you just don't have the time to spend, right? You're like, you know what, I don't have, 3 hours out of my day to hang out, on a Saturday. Or if you happen to be watching this on the replay, Nimmin live clips is now available to where I'm taking snippets from the live stream and we're making those available on another channel so that you can, watch some of the highlights. Of course, we can't fit everything on there because, it's coming out on a schedule. However, there's a lot of really great content, a lot of really good tips, and a lot of really good information coming out of that. So make sure that you, if you haven't yet, make sure that you click into that pinned comment at the very top of the chat right now and go ahead and get subscribed so you can learn over there as well. Also, just a really good way to go to the videos tab, especially as we start, getting a big archive of content in there. Go to the videos tab, type in what it is that you're actually looking for in the little search bar there on the videos tab. And then, what it is that you're looking for should come up there. Eventually, it's kind of the goal of the whole thing so that, we can troubleshoot and help you, navigate all of this stuff here on YouTube. That's the goal. Okay. So the very first question that we have is from Numidia Classic World of Warcraft. And they say that they upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a gaming channel, World of Warcraft. And the goal of the channel is to educate, inform, and entertain about anything classic World of Warcraft related. And the question is, hey, Nick, I'm almost at 700 subs and climbing all of this thanks to you and your awesome advice. Keep it up. My question this week is about niches and sub niches. To talk about my channel specifically, World of Warcraft is a huge game and different players enjoy to do different aspects of the game. I started my channel by talking about warriors, which is a class in World of Warcraft. And then I got more broad over time. So my question is, should I choose a sub niche in my own niche and stick to it, or should I expand and talk about broader things as a small YouTuber? So if you're making content for people that are into World of Warcraft, basically the people that you're after are the people who are players of that game. Now, you might have, some pillars of content within that, which you could define as a sub niche, but the idea is to simply say, okay, the people I'm trying to reach are the people that are playing World of Warcraft. So because of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to think of all the different things that people want to know about World of Warcraft, and I'm going to make videos about all of them, everything. Over time, starting today until the distant future, I'm going to make videos about all the stuff that people want to know about with World of Warcraft. So that's what I would do. So instead of saying, hey, should I niche down or go broad in World of Warcraft, just think the people that I'm trying to reach are World of Warcraft players. Therefore, I need to make sure that I'm adding value to those people. What can I do to add the most value to the most amount of World of Warcraft players? So whatever that type of content looks like. And then, of course, you can break it down into separate pillars. So an example, if you look at my channel, I do YouTube tips, live streaming stuff, mobile stuff, and then a little bit of mindset stuff. But most of it is live streaming, YouTube tips, and mobile stuff. So, that would be my version of World of Warcraft, except for YouTubers. So that's the approach that I recommend. Next, it's locked. What are we going to do? I don't know. What are we going to do? I don't know. Okay, let's see here. So the next question that we have, why is this not letting me go to the next question? This is weird. Something went wrong. Reloading. Come on, question form thing. Boom. 46 Gang. 46 Gang says that they've been on YouTube for a year or more. It's a gaming channel, and the goal of the channel is to continue to help others with Madden tips and grow my community and eventually make steady income from YouTube so I can have YouTube as a full-time job. So here's the thing really quick for anybody that is trying to make YouTube their full-time job or a side job or to create income, an income source of any type. make sure that you go ahead and start monetizing now. One of the questions that have been popping up a lot over this last week, oddly, is about when people should start monetizing their YouTube channels. Specifically, it's been around merch. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, for everybody that's listening right now, the like 250 something people that are here right now, go ahead and start monetizing your channel now. If you have merch and you want to make merch available, go ahead and make that merch available. And the reason for that is because as your channel grows, you're going to create this huge library of content around what it is that you do. And you want to make sure that every video is working for you in some way. And what I mean by that is, over time, you're going to identify that some videos, they'll drive more subscribers for you. Other videos, they'll drive, more views. You can count on those videos for views. Other ones will drive more ad revenue. Some of them will be sponsor videos. Some of them will be videos possibly where you promote your own things. But the idea is to assign a job to every single video that you put out there. And one of the things that you can do now, even if you're just getting started, is you can go ahead and you can put some merchandise together, shirts, coffee cups, that kind of stuff. Go ahead and put that stuff together so that as you are publishing your content, you have links in your descriptions. Maybe you mention it from time to time. You have some videos of you wearing it, that sort of thing, so that you can build an archive of content that is driving you towards something, right? So if you're wanting to make this a full-time thing, make sure that you go ahead and you start putting those monetization practices into practice now, so that you can make sure that you can so that you can achieve that in a faster period of time. And of course, you're going to have your ad revenue too, but everything that you can do, all the different ways that you can monetize, are going to put icing on that cake. Can you see how I've been like trying to get this drink of coffee in? So really quick, if you haven't yet,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So the next question that we have here, we got 46 gang. I think that's the one that we did. Okay. So the next one here is 46 gang. Says, oh, no, we got that. Oh, you know what? I didn't even say what the question was here in this situation. Fantastic. Okay. So the question is, I'm at 923 subscribers and 3,337 watch hours. I'm almost monetized. High five and fist bump to you for that. And my tip videos are doing okay, but my editing plays take hours to edit and they're not as successful. How can I fix this before or while I'm monetized so I can make money off of all of my content? Here's a trick when it comes to YouTube. Here's a secret when it comes to YouTube. Of course, you want to make what it is that you want to make, and you should. However, when you do notice things like this, you notice that, hey, when I do, what was the one thing that you did? When you have basically the one type of content that you make and people respond to that, and then you have another type of content that you make that takes longer to make and people don't respond as much, that content's for you. So it's important that you understand that when you're putting that content out, that content's for you right now. Other people will get into it more in the future. You'll have some people get into it now. But when it comes to one piece of content or one type of content on your channel performing better than another type of content on your channel, in that situation, you have to look at it and you have to say, well, some videos just aren't going to do as good as others. Some are going to do fantastic. So what I have to do is I have to make that choice as a content creator on which videos to publish and when, based on whatever it is I'm trying to accomplish. So let's say your goal is to get to 50 or 100,000 subscribers as fast as humanly possible. Well, if that was your goal, it wouldn't make sense to publish a lot of the content that doesn't do well. It would make a lot of sense to publish a lot of the content that is proven to perform for the people that are into your stuff. And then you just sprinkle in the other stuff from time to time. So that way it still gives you a chance to get it out. You still have that outlet, but depending on what it is that you're trying to accomplish with your YouTube channel, which in this case is monetization, you need to get monetized and you need to make sure that you're giving the audience what it is that they want from you. Again, mix in your stuff from time to time, but you need to make sure that the content that is working for you, that you focus really hard on that stuff, the stuff that people respond to, because the more that you focus on the content that people respond to, the easier it's going to be to grow your channel. And the easier it's going to be to turn your entire channel into a resource for that particular type of content. So that's what you want to do.
Super chat.
The driver sensei says, hey, good day. Nick, what is your opinion on why YouTube made loyalty badges for 12 and 24 months when it just introduced to us small channels? Thanks, man. I have no idea. Like in terms of their motives for stuff, I have no clue when it comes to the reasoning behind why they do certain things. In terms of like loyalty badges and stuff, no clue whatsoever. I wish that I had an answer for you, but unfortunately I don't when it comes to that. Okay, so next up on the list here, we've got Curly Pills. I guess it's another language here. It says here. Okay, the type of channel is Italian curly hair care. The goal of the channel is to help Italian curly girls and boys to embrace their natural texture. Also looking forward to being monetized ASAP. Starting to see the theme of the stream today. Getting money is the theme of the stream today, possibly. We're going to see here in just a little bit, but I think that might, between us, I think that might be the theme of the thing today, but we're going to find out. But basically, when it comes to the question, would you suggest having some kind of ratio when creating content to target different traffic sources? 50% frequently for search keywords, 30% for suggested trending topics, 20% my own video ideas, etc. Thanks for all your amazing work. Absolutely. So basically, you can lean on the good old fashioned Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. So basically, in that situation, you have the 80% of content that you put out that people are proven to respond to on your particular channel, and then you have the 20% that is experimental. And that 20% that is experimental, basically the 80% keeps the engine moving, and then the 20% experimental is to where you can release the content that you feel that you want to get out on your channel. And in addition to that, it's also the content that might propel you farther because you're experimenting in that 20%. So run with an 80-20 in that particular scenario. And when it comes to targeting, one thing to make sure that you're remembering is that, of course, if you break everything down, to traffic sources and all that, you can. But keep in mind, when you're targeting different traffic sources, like if you can get a video to rank in search, really good chance that you're also going to have that video showing up on home pages next to other videos. If you can have a video showing up on home pages, as long as the context is there in terms of YouTube systems understand what that video is about, then there's also, based on the keywords and how you're doing your metadata and what's happening in the video, there's a really good chance that if people are responding to it there, that they're also going to respond to it in search as well. So the idea, or the big picture, I should say, is to make sure that when you are putting your videos together, that you're sitting back and you're like, okay, I've got my keywords or keyword phrase in there, depending on the type of content you make. If you're doing like outrageous entertainment content or something like that, or something that just doesn't fit into this box, then in that situation, you'll have to come up with additional ways. But the easy path is to say, okay, this is what my video is about. This is the keyword or keyword phrase that I'm going to target with this particular video. And then I'm going to add a bunch of compelling stuff to it, or add something compelling to it, so that it doesn't matter where it shows up on YouTube. If it's in search, suggested, if it shows up on a home page, that people will still be likely to respond to it. The people I'm trying to reach will be likely to respond to it because I packaged it up with that intention in terms of making sure that you have that keyword phrase in there. So it gives you the search opportunity, and then you make it as compelling as you possibly can in terms of your title and thumbnail, so that they click on it in search, but it also shows up and people click on it when it shows up next to other videos, and when it shows up on home pages as well on YouTube. All right. So my E-Class in Bytes, great question, says, hey, what is a good click-through rate? So a good click-through rate, what you want to do on your YouTube channel, I can give you a number, 25, fantastic click-through rate. 10 in most cases is a great click-through rate. But when it comes to YouTube, they say the average across the platform. This means, videos with high response and videos with no response, everything in the middle. Videos across the platform, they average between 2 and 10% for the click-through rate. But what you want to do is you want to pay attention in your stats, take notes on what's happening on your channel, and start looking for, hey, when my videos perform well, this is what's happening with this video. My click-through rate is about this based on this many impressions for this particular traffic source. My audience retention is about this. When the video first started, people responded in this way. When they started leaving, I was able to grab their attention and keep them holding on the video longer for about this long. I had X amount of people click in through the end screen to go watch another video, so that you can start keeping notes on what a performing piece of content looks like on your YouTube channel. And you can raise this up incrementally too. So let's say that, like right now, let's say, because I know there's a lot of new content creators watching, give me a hashtag new if you're a new content creator. But the idea is, let's say that you have, let's say that you get 100 views a video. then in that situation, if you have one video that gets 500, then in that situation, you have some information, because it's like, okay, typically I'm getting 100. What happened? What is it that this video that's making this video stand out? Dig into your stats and use that. Take down all the notes on that and compare it against the videos that don't do as well. And you'll be able, it'll be glaring right at you in terms of why one did better than the other. And then you can start, writing that down and keeping track. And then over time, as you keep publishing content, noticing this one does better, this one doesn't, then you'll be able to get a general idea of what your metrics look like when a video is going to most likely do well for the type of content that you make. Because, like, for example, all right, good. We got some news in here. We got a new kinda. Nice. PJ's Thriving. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Marvin Thokes, welcome to the live stream. Anti-Lose World, welcome to the live stream as well. Chasing Frets, what's going on? Saying newer. That counts. That counts. Angels and Rainbows, what's up? Welcome to the live stream. Space Max, what is going on? By new, I just mean like if you're just new here. This is like your first time, hanging out in the live stream, then that would be definitely, that's new. I would definitely file that one under new. Nate the Lawyer, thanks for the super chat, man, says, oh, Nick, I was here 3 weeks ago. I just crossed 10,000. Now I'm at 44. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. The guard says old, hashtag old. Love it. If you're old, if you've been in these, if you've watched tons of these streams, give me a hashtag old. Let's see here. I feel like I don't know what to do next. Merch, Amazon, brand deals, etc. All of it, right? Like, that's the thing. Like with this stuff, once you start getting that momentum, now you've unlocked it, right? You've unlocked it. So now you get to do all of the things, right? Like what you're experiencing right now is what everybody in this chat that hasn't experienced it yet is what everybody here wants. So the next steps are to, okay, I got to start thinking what it is that I want out of this, because it's obviously working. People are obviously responding to you and the content that you're making. So you have to sit down, and this is really important. And I recommend you do this before you do anything else. Sit down and write out, this is exactly what I want to get out of my YouTube channel. 5 years from now, this is what I want my channel to look like. This is how I'm going to leverage my YouTube channel to design either a lifestyle completely or a certain aspect of my lifestyle, and literally write everything down in terms of what it is that you want. And then from there, think of all of the things, because you have the traffic now, you have the attention. So then what you want to do is you want to sit back and you want to say, okay, this is what I want to do. Now, what moves do I need to make in order to get me to that particular point? So if it's, hanging out with other content creators, then in that situation, you need to be doing a lot of collaborations if you want to have a bunch of YouTuber friends. If it's making money, then in that situation, you want to say, okay, well, what ways is it possible for me to make money? Amazon, sure. A bunch of other affiliate programs, absolutely. Ad money, sure. What were your other options there? You said some other stuff too, but basically going through all of the options that you have and saying, like merch, all of that, and saying, I'm going to do affiliate marketing. That's going to be one stream of income. I'm going to do merch. It's going to be another one. I'm going to, depending on the type of content you make, if you have anything that you can make that you can actually sell, then do that. Email is also important. If you're a content creator and you're not growing an email list, even because there's an active way to do things and a passive way to do things. Active means that you are constantly pushing it. Passive means that you just have it available and then people can join as they like. But as a content creator, everybody here should have an email list. And we've been talking about this for a long time. Everybody that makes content like me talks about this, but you need to have an email list that you are able to stay in contact with your viewers. And if you're monetizing and you're doing this, you're one of those people that are like, hey, how can I make money from this? Like long-term. Email list. Get an email list together and start using your email list as a way to stay in touch with the people that are watching your content. And you can also use it to let them know when like new things show up in your industry, let them know when you have new videos published and things like that. So anyway, email marketing is something you should do. Merch is something you should do. Affiliate marketing is something you should do. If you have any products of your own that you can come up with, try that. You should try Patreon. Doesn't mean you have to always do it, but you should try Patreon just to see how your viewers respond to it. If you have memberships, you should try that to see how your viewers respond to it. Anything you can think of around the type of content that you make, now start doing it. But here's the thing, because you said like, what do I do next, right? So the next thing to do is just sit down and think of what is it that you want in terms of your goals with your channel and how YouTube can impact your life, which I'm going to go ahead and just tell you, there's like, it can impact your life in such major ways that are just going to blindside you that you can't prepare for. However, just go ahead and map out what it is that you can do now in terms of like what you've experienced so far, but just say like, this is what I want. And then from there, start thinking, and monetization is going to be a part of it. It's just a natural part, right? So then from there, say, okay, which things are going to be the best fit? Which one is going to be the easiest for me to start right now, which is typically affiliate marketing. And then from there, it's typically merch, unless you know how to design, or you use Fiverr or something like that and have somebody making the stuff on Fiverr while you're working on the affiliate side. And then, go ahead and set up your Patreon account or whatever it is, but just spend a few days getting all of your options together so that you can go ahead and start, capitalizing on what's happening to you right now. But high five and fist bump, man. Awesome. Absolutely awesome to see you getting those gains. It's like 10,000 subscribers a week. I love it. That's like Roger Wakefield numbers. I know Dr. Sten, he was getting numbers like that. He probably still is. I know Paul Peck Drywall went through some numbers like that as well, who he might also still be, I'm not sure. But yeah, just embrace it, enjoy it, because you've unlocked it in terms of, what you're able to do here. So, make sure that you embrace it and just keep uploading videos. And even if you're like, hey, I actually don't even know yet what it is that I ultimately want to do with all this, even if you don't know, not a big deal. Just say, okay, well, I'm just going to keep uploading videos until I figure it out so that I can keep that machine working for me on my behalf. And then you'll, as you start to uncover, hey, this is what I'm going to do for my merch. And because some of it requires some thought, like you don't want to just have like your gear links when it comes to when it comes to affiliate. Like, just having gear links in your description doesn't make sense if you don't have like content creators watching you. So you have to think like the people that are watching me, what type of stuff would they be interested in that I can bring attention to?
Super chat.
Zachary Thomas says, Nick was wondering if I should put my qualification first in the title, doctor reviews, or if I should put the product first, product reviewed by doctor. Thanks for helping me to 1,004 month, by the way. High five this month to you, Zachary. So when it comes to putting your qualifications in there, I would actually do, like, if you're doing reviews, yeah, I would just do reviewed by, by whatever type of doctor it is that you are. So somebody I know recently, what was that? That was in the Facebook group, actually, the members only group. There's a foot doctor in there. And on his particular channel, one of the things that I recommended to him is, mentioning, by a foot doctor, like all the time. And the idea behind that is because it does add that street cred that you're talking about, those qualifications. So it's like, hey, this one person, this like random person, reviews this thing. That's one thing. But then, it's like, hey, a doctor reviewed this and it's something that, that I'm looking at because of a medical thing in some capacity. Then in that case, you definitely want to, leverage that experience. Another thing that I would do is somewhere in your videos, I would make sure that you're also making it very clear. It can just be in a lower third, but that you're an actual doctor, because that adds, tons of credibility to what it is that you are, to what it is that you're doing. All right. So next up, Mind Starter. Nice to see you here again as well. Baking with Charlene says, my main focus is to improve my videos. Fantastic. Fantastic. Lego Brick of Brock. What's up, man? Nice to see you swinging by here. Says, glad to catch this premiere. This is a live stream. We're going to be live for like 3 hours. I have a question for you. I already asked Brian yesterday. Yeah, make sure you get it in the form. We've got like 50 in there right now. So make sure you get it in there. We've got 50 in here, so it depends on how fast I can get through some of these, but we're not going to be able to take many more. So make sure that you get your question in there now if you want to give it a shot. Richard Wells, career dev and finance, says, the type of channel is career development and personal finance. The goal of the channel is education. The question is, if there's a topic that starts trending, for example, what shows on TubeBuddy, and if I want to capitalize on that trend, is it necessary to make a video ASAP? Lower quality production / editing, or would it be worth spending time on it even if a video launches a week later? Okay. When it comes to something that's trending, you want to get on it as fast as you possibly can. And the reason for that is because that trend, right? If it's on the climb, if you get it when it's like here, and then you get to ride that climb, you're going to capitalize on it big as long as people respond to your content. However, if it's on that climb and then let's say you hop on here, then in that situation, if it's already, kind of at the top or near the top, then you're not going to be able to ride it for as long. And then as that trend starts fading away, then you're only going to catch that back end off of it. So absolutely, you want to make the content as fast as possible. Another reason is because a bunch of other people are making content as fast as possible around it. And when a bunch of other people are also doing that, those are other videos that you can get connected to for traffic. So if somebody else is, and this is where trending content is so powerful is because like if somebody makes a video, it doesn't even have to be a fantastic video, but if that one gets a high response and YouTube starts showing that to a bunch of people, then in that particular situation, what's going to happen is all the other people that are making videos about that, YouTube is going to be testing to see which ones people respond to. And if yours is one of those, then, and you're connected next to one of those powerful, videos that are getting a lot of viewers watching it, then in that situation, you're going to be able to siphon a lot of traffic. You might even end up in a next up spot, which will then drive you tons of traffic as well. So you want to hop on those as fast as you possibly can. I was going to say probably. Probably is not even a word. Okay, so next up, we've got Apex Gaming in the house. Apex Gaming, what is up? Nice to see you in here. Eileen Smith, what's up? Nice to see you here. James Pruitt, what's up, man? Doug Houston, YT in the house. Vigard also here. What's up, my dude? Hope that you are doing awesome. Everybody today. I hope everybody's doing great and awesome and fantastic. All of that good stuff. Okay, so next up, we've got Femininity with Mama Gail says, hey, Nick, just wanted to thank you for Tuesday's channel review. I truly needed that critique, and I appreciate it. Congratulations on 700,000 subscribers. You definitely add value and deserve millions of subs. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Glad that you enjoyed that review. What she's talking about is our members only live stream. So what we did is I basically made a post in the Facebook group, said, hey, we're going live tomorrow. Drop a link to your channel and I'm going to check them out. My intention, there's something with me in live streaming. So my intention was that, hey, I'm going to, just go live for like an hour, right? I'm going to go live, set my little timer over here. I'm going to go live for an hour. And next thing you know, it's like 3 hours and some change later. And I'm still sitting there, looking at channels and, all that stuff. It's hilarious. Like once this thing starts, I have a really difficult time shutting it off. I don't know why. Caesar's Our Story. What's up? Nice to see you in here. Hope that you're having an awesome or have had an awesome week. Okay, so next up, we've got Apex Gaming. Did I get that one already? Okay, I did not. Okay, so Apex Gaming says the type of channel is gaming. Goals to reach 1 million subscribers. That was my dream in childhood. And the question is, my stream lags all the time. My viewers aren't watching because of this. I'm using Streamlabs OBS, and it's a bit of a low-end laptop. Please help me, and happy 700,000 subscribers. Thank you. So when it comes to your streams, I'm not sure. You're on Apex Gaming, so I'm not sure what type of games that you're playing. You might be doing like Apex Legends. I think that's a game. But basically, when you are trying to use a streaming software that is labor intensive, you're gonna run into stuff like this. So like the lag and all that, because your computer, it's playing the game and it's trying to stream at the same time. Like I have 2 really powerful computers down here, and even with the powerful computers, like those will even have trouble sometimes. Even in our live studio, we also have a really powerful computer, but even that has trouble sometimes as well. So when you are, doing gaming and streaming on them, then you're really taxing that computer out. So because of that, some people, I know like Alpha Gaming and David and Luria from Live Streaming Pros, what they do is they actually use multiple computers. So they have one computer that is the streaming computer, and then one computer that's a production computer, and then they chain them together. So that helps them, because then in that situation, one's just pushing the stream, and then the other one is just doing the game or the production for the live stream itself. So in your situation, if you can't do that, then you might want to use something like I'm using right now, StreamYard. I'm not 100% sure in terms of the gaming, how that works, but basically you would share your screen, and when you share your screen, I'll actually do it right now so you can see, since you took the time to put this question in here. Let me find my StreamYard. Let me open it up because I closed it. Shame on me. But basically the idea is that, let me mute this. That's already in there. Share screen. And I'll just do this with all the stuff that's on the screen. A little bit messy right now, so pardon me. But basically the idea in this situation is that you would be over here and you would be, here on cam and all of that. And then the stream itself is over here in this other, this other window. And then that's where the actual game itself would be. Now, another option as well is if I wanted to, I could actually take this shared screen, I could go full screen with it too. So if you're not in the screen yourself, if you don't want to be, if you don't have a camera on you, then in that situation, this might be a great solution for you. But the reason that, one of the reasons that StreamYard is so awesome is because they do all the heavy lifting for you in the cloud, so that you don't have to worry about taxing your computer in terms of, running out of, memory and all that good stuff. So, I would recommend something like that. Or another option that you could also do is just upgrade the computer. And I know that's just not an easy solution. So, because of that, I just wanted to say it, and that already. but I just wanted to mention it because, it is, of course, an option.
Super chat.
Wayne C. the Hit Home Group says, is it better to do 10 tips for this one action or break it up into 10 videos? You rock the heezy faux sheezy. Thank you. Speaking Snoop Dogg. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so basically, if you are doing 10 tips for one thing or break it up into 10 videos, do it all. Do it all. Like, you're going to make so many videos on your YouTube channel, do it all. And then you'll figure out which ones that your audience responds to. So basically, if you have like a, where you have everything, like all the tips in one video, in that situation, it's a longer video. It has all the tips in there. Maybe you don't go into as much detail. But when you break them down into individual tips, then in that situation, then you go really deep into one particular tip. So basically, the one video is kind of like a summary to where you give value, but you don't go that deep on it. But then the individual videos, you go deep on those particular videos. And the cool thing about that is that once you get all of those videos made, you have the summary video, and then you have the other one. If you wanted to, you could actually link up in the description the each individual video into the description of the summary video, so that you can try to drive people to each individual video from that particular video based on things they care about. But the idea is to do it all. So make the video in the one really good video of all the tips, and make them individual videos with each of the 10 as well, so that you can have all those different pieces of content for you, but then you can go deeper on the ones where it's individual. That's what I typically do in my stuff also. All right, next up on our list is Numita, classic World of Warcraft. We got another World of Warcraft in here. The type of channel is World of Warcraft. The type of channel, or the goal, is to educate, inform, and entertain. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I did that one already, so let me pass that one. Okay, next up, we've got Faith Vista. Faith Vista says that they have a music channel, and the goal of the channel is to entertain people through singing, playing ukulele and guitar, doing live singing, and gaining an audience. The question: hey, Nick, I'm a fan of yours, and I really appreciate it when you reply to my comments. It's really awesome. I've been on YouTube for 4 months now, and most of my videos are hundreds of views only. With this, I just feel like my channel is growing slowly and small. I make sure, though, that the title, description, tags, and quality of video is right, but I don't really generate a lot of views. Does this mean that it really takes a long time before I get noticed on YouTube? And a lot of you might be feeling this too. A lot of you might be feeling something similar, to where it's like, hey, I'm putting in all this, work, and I'm getting, just a handful of views. Hey, Andrew Can in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. But basically, a lot of you, might be feeling, a similar thing. This might resonate. Just give me #me if this resonates with you. But basically, I feel like my channel is growing slowly and small. I make sure to, okay, yeah, I read that part already. Does this mean that it really takes a long time before I get noticed on YouTube? I just don't know when I will ever blow up on YouTube, because it feels like I will never, given the performance of my channel. Okay, here's the thing, is with a music channel, it takes one good video to really put you on the map, okay? But in addition to that, YouTube can take time, because right now you've been on YouTube for 4 months. There's a lot, like, you might be excellent at music, but there's a lot to learn when it comes to YouTube in terms of, writing titles that are effective, making thumbnails that are effective, making content that keeps people watching for a long period of time, which in your case would be the actual music. So because of that, right now, just like you had to learn how to play guitar, just like you had to learn to play the ukulele and so on, the same exact thing comes to YouTube. You got to go through the process of learning how to identify the audience you're trying to reach, get them to click on what it is that you're doing, and then get them to watch your content, keep coming back to the channel and all of that. So you're going through that process right now, just like you're learning how to play the instrument. You didn't learn how to play the ukulele in 4 months. I mean, maybe you did, or the guitar in 4 months. Like, you don't master a guitar in 4 months. So, because of that, just look at YouTube, just like you do with your music, to where, you have to put in the time, you have to learn, how to get your audience to do what it is that they do. And just like the music that you make, when you're learning how to play guitar, you're putting in all this front end work, right? All this front end effort, and you're just not feeling it. You're like, oh, I know that I just have to keep pushing in order to learn how to play this. Same exact thing goes here. So for those of you that don't know, on my YouTube channel, because just like you guys, I came onto YouTube and I had no idea what I was doing, right? So on my YouTube channel, the one you're watching me on right now, it took me 5 months to get my first 150 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So, just keep that in mind, like I know a lot of people, might look at my channel now since I just crossed 700,000 subscribers. Humble brag. But basically, like when you look at my channel now, it's like, hey, Nick has a big YouTube channel. But, when I was in that first 5 months, and even after that, that was just the first 150. I don't know how long it took me to get to, 1,000. So because of that, I just want you to know that, all it takes is a few good videos to start that lift. And then once you get those few good videos and you start paying really close attention to what's happening with those videos in terms of your analytics and how people are responding to them, so you can use that in future videos, then you can just keep that party rolling, so to speak. Hang in there is what I'm saying. That's the shortened version. Hang in there. Hang in there. Okay, next up, we've got my E-Class and Bytes. My E-Class and Bytes says the type of channels, education tutorials. The goal of the channel is to help students and teachers learn how to use various educational tech tools. The question, how can I deliver better videos through my tutorials? I'd have to watch your tutorials to tell you. But basically, in a nutshell, give people what you promised them in the title and thumbnail. Whatever it is that they are expecting or that you think they might expect when they click, give it to them. And don't hold back. Don't hold back, information. Don't be like, well, I'm not going to actually, I'm just going to show you some like surface stuff. Like just go deep, make your channel a resource for that type of stuff. If you make your channel a resource for that type of stuff, any type of educator that needs those tools, eventually, as they start finding your channel and more of them start finding your channel, if they start responding well to your content because you're putting it together for them, then YouTube will identify that those types of people who are watching, because sure, they watch similar videos if they're trying to learn how to do different things. So then YouTube will identify those people and they'll start showing your videos to other people who are similar to those people, as long as they're getting a satisfactory experience out of it. So when it comes to delivering better videos, just give them what they want, right? Give them what they expect. Like put yourself in the shoes of the people that are watching your content and think to yourself, like watch your tutorials back and say, okay, is there any way? And this is one of the things that I try to do a lot on my channel too, is I'll watch a video and I'll say to myself, or I'll write a note down, is there a clearer way that I can say that? Is there a more concise way that I can say that? Is there a way that I can say that from a different angle that might make a little bit more sense to people that might not necessarily know like all the lingo? Or is there another angle that I can take with that to where, I might make it easier to understand if I make it like an analogy of some kind? Or is there a way that I can say this without using the words that people that are just getting started on YouTube might not understand or might not even know are a thing? Like, like for example, when I say algorithm, when I say YouTube algorithm, I'm going to guess that most of you, because you've been watching my content, most of you probably know what that is, but there's also probably a lot of people in the chat right now, because we've got like 360 people here. There's also probably a lot of people that are brand new to YouTube that when I say YouTube algorithm, you might not even know what that means. So because of that, I try to even limit that language in my videos. And if you might not have noticed this, but instead of saying like even in the live streams when I'm answering questions, instead of saying YouTube algorithm, when I'm talking about, like getting, their system to, show your content to the right people and all that, I call it YouTube's system now. Because that's just an easier way to phrase it in terms of like, it doesn't matter if you are day one on YouTube and you've never heard those words before in terms of the algorithm or not, you can understand that like YouTube systems or YouTube's computers, you can understand that even if you're here on YouTube in day one. So in your situation, to make your videos better, what you want to do is, you want to, of course, deliver, but you also want to, just think of all the different ways that you can make it easier or better content for the people that are watching your stuff. All right. John 2 M Vlog TV, shout to you as well. Hope that you're doing great. Okay, next up on the list, we've got Ost Pro. Ost Pro says that they do gaming tutorials. How many gamers do we have here? Give me a hashtag me if you are a gamer. But basically, the type of channel, Doug, I gotcha. I will open that page up and I will go through those here. Un momento, por favor. So yeah, I will. I'm going to refresh the page now so I can go through. But basically, yeah, so the type of channel is education. The question is, what should you do if you're getting subscribers? But each video's views are slowly going down. Okay, if you're getting subscribers, but your views are going down, what it means is basically people are subscribing to your YouTube channel because they're expecting something from you. However, you're not necessarily delivering on that something when it comes to the next topic of your video. So they're subscribing, but they're not actually coming back to watch what it is that you're doing, which means that you're not able to get them to click on that next video that might be of interest. And this could be because if they're subscribing for, since you're doing gaming tutorials, if they're subscribing for this game, maybe you're putting out something on another game. And because of that, there's just, incompatibility there. Let's say that they're subscribing for one game and one tutorial for that game, but let's say the next one, a majority of your audience that subscribed for that first one, they already know how to do that thing that you're showing them how to do. So then therefore they're not clicking on that particular one either. So if your views keep going down, then you need to work on how you're packaging your content. And by packaging, I mean topic, title, thumbnail, so that you can make sure that you're resonating with the people that are subscribing to your YouTube channel and the content that they want from you. All right, so we've got
Super Chat.
Peasants Game Utopia, like that name, says, here's a noob question. How do you ensure your video is as loud as the standard? I'm getting feedback that my videos are too quiet. So first, watch Mike Russell. Watch Mike Russell and watch Curtis Judd. Both of them have amazing audio-based content. Mike Russell, Curtis Judd. When it comes to ensuring that your videos are loud enough, whatever editing software that you have, you can visually do it, where you kind of wing it. And I did this for years and years and years and years and years and years. But the idea in that situation is basically you just watch the audio meter. Like you can see this audio meter here in the background. See this? Here, let me do this so I can make sure I'm pointing in the right place. If you see this right here, I'll just point. How's that? I'll just point over here. Let's do this. Okay. So if you see this audio meter right here, you can see that it's in the green for most of it, but then we have the yellow right here as well. But then if I get really loud, then it'll pop up into the red there, right? So what you want to do is you want to raise this up to where you are somewhere in that yellow, typically high yellow, right before that peak. So the loudest stuff that you do in your videos is right before it hits that red. So that's number one. Number two is you can, and I can't remember what the exact numbers are off the top of my head. I think it's like -11. But basically if you use Adobe Audition by some chance, then you can actually match clip loudness. And then when you match clip loudness, you can just right click and you'll see it on there if you click on the audio track. But if you do match clip loudness, then you can actually set it to broadcast volume. In that broadcast volume, it's either like -23 or -11. I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically you can set that and you can set it all up so that you can have that as your template. And then you can just apply it every single time that you process your audio through Adobe Audition if you happen to be doing it that way. But if you don't have an Audition or an Adobe subscription, then in that situation, then you got to eyeball it in that situation, unless there's other tools that I'm not aware of that maybe people in the chat might be able to help you with in terms of being able to get that broadcast level. Let's see here. We've got the Hard Rock Stage Backdrop Chronicle says, thanks, Nick. Officially launching the channel this weekend with your expert advice. Nicely worked in. Fantastic. Good luck on your YouTube channel. Here's the thing. Just like you'll see here, in the chat, people talking about, have been doing YouTube for this amount of time. And some people are like, hey, I'm like rocking right now. Other people will be like, hey, I'm like having trouble getting going. Just keep in mind that, you could be in either side, either camp. So because of that, if you're on the camp to where things start working out for you, right out of the gate, fantastic, because then that takes some of that doubt away. But if you're on the other camp where it's a little bit slow rolling, just be ensured that, this comes with a learning curve. YouTube does, just like everything else, which is why you've been watching my videos. But basically, YouTube comes with a learning curve like everything else. So if things aren't working the way that you are anticipating they work right out of the gate, just pay attention to your stats and pay attention to what it is that you're doing in terms of how well you're resonating with an audience that you're trying to reach, so that you don't get discouraged along the way, because sometimes it can take some time to get things moving. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here really quick because there were some that I missed, and I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page. That's awesome that you just started your YouTube channel. Welcome to the creator life. Another thing too, really quick, just a quick tip. I'm not sure what you're doing in terms of like when you're making your content, but one thing that I really recommend is that you start doing that on a schedule, because it's really easy to not prioritize, and you end up, just like not publishing videos and stuff like that. But if you can get into a schedule and work it into your lifestyle, it makes it easier. I'm actually in a process right now because I have like a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now. Like I'm in the process of getting a house, and I'm prepping for Bid Summit 2020. We're recording that next week. So I've been like running around and having signage made and all this other stuff. But basically, like I've got a lot of stuff going on right now. So like for me, it's putting a little tiny dent in my, typical schedule. So I'm having to kind of work around that kind of stuff right now as well on my channel. But basically, typically though, what you want is you want to have, whatever your schedule is, that you have content creation time scheduled in so that you can make sure that you hit it. Okay, so let me go through here and go ahead and get some of these other ones. James Pruitt says, congratulations, Nick, on 700,000 subscribers. Thank you. High five and fist bump for the congratulations there. Wayne C. Hilt, I think we did this one already. We did. Okay. Let's see here. We got Femininity with Mama Gail. We got Driver Sensei. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I got all of these. I got Nate the Lawyer. Oh, says Nate the Lawyer says, I followed your advice like a religion. It works. Absolutely, it does. Nairi Squires says, can you explain exactly how to make the email list? Yes. I actually talked on Twitter. I mentioned that I would, or I was asking, I was like, hey, since they're taking away notifications on YouTube, do you want me to make an email list just for notifications? And I'd be curious to know, for those of you watching right now, just give me a hashtag yes or a hashtag no. And it's cool either way. Like I won't be offended. But let me know. For YouTube notifications only, it wouldn't be used for marketing or anything like that. But basically, just to let you know when I have new videos available, would that be something that you would be interested in signing up for an email list? So it'd basically be like my own built-in notification system. If so, just give me a hashtag yes or hashtag no, just so I can know, what it is that you would prefer. Beast Gamer, yeah. Video Leap is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Okay, so when it comes to the email, so basically the service that I use is called Aweber. I have an account with Aweber. I have an account with ActiveCampaign as well. I also have an account with SendFox. SendFox is doing some really cool stuff for YouTube content creators in general in terms of queuing up videos to let your audience know that that they're there. So they are automatically pull through YouTube's API. They'll pull your recent content and they'll go ahead and populate an email, which is pretty cool. But the main service that I use is Aweber. And basically what you do is you go to like aweber.com as an example. And okay, so we got some yeses, some nos in here. So a little bit of a mixed audience. Okay, cool. But basically, like when you set it all up, what you do is you go ahead and you basically go to like Aweber or like MailChimp or whatever it happens to be, and you set up an account. A lot of the different services, they'll have it to where you actually can do it free up to a certain amount of email subscribers. I think it's like 1,000 is the number on a lot of them. But basically, once you set that up, then what you can do is you create an opt-in. So in order to create the opt-in, they have it to where you can do it directly on one of their pages that you can send people to, or if you have a website or something like that, then you can create the opt-in and put it on your website. But the idea from there is basically you let people know in your videos that you have something available for them. Now, the thing that's available for them could be a multitude of things. If you're trying to use it for marketing purposes, then in that situation, typically people give something away in exchange for the email so that they can later market to the people as well as give value content. But then if it's for something like notifications, as an example, in that situation, you would just let people know continually, hey, this is the notification email. But you can put icing on the cake to increase the amount of people that are going into it by saying, hey, if you sign up for this, in addition to getting the notifications, you also get whatever it is that you have that's digital. If you have anything that's digital that you can give them for free after they sign up as well. And then basically you log into their system, you fill out your subject line, you fill out the actual body copy of the email, and you hit send. A little more to it. You have to tell which segment of your list you're sending to and stuff like that. But then once you hit send, then it broadcasts to all of those people. So it basically just starts sending all those emails out. All right. So the link, yeah. So basically you would put the link in your YouTube description, or you could make like a short URL for it. If you wanted to do like in your case, you could do like naireslist.com, and then that would just forward directly through to whatever opt-in page that you had. But we can talk more about that. Go ahead and post that in the members only group. And I can go into a little bit more detail there. I might even make like a quick phone video for you or something to explain it better for the sake of, just giving you more insight on how to do it. Okay, so let's see here. Next up, we got Zachary. I think I got him taken care of. Nate, Got him taken care of. And okay, so the next one here is from the Natural Existence. Natural Existence RE says, I have a $1,500 budget for a computer. What would be the best bang for my buck when purchasing a computer to edit my YouTube videos? So I'm not a tech person, but I can tell you this. I got a Dell XPS. That Dell XPS, it was right around 2,000. So if you can squeeze in another $500, but it was right around, I think 2,000. It might be 2,500, but I think it was right around 2,000. And that thing is a beast when it comes to like 4K footage. Like I can just crush right through 4K footage. My Dell actually still goes through 4K footage faster than this machine that I just spent like, I'm not even going to tell you, but basically like this machine under the desk right here, the new one, my Dell still is faster. So because of that, I'm trying to find ways to make this one faster. But you know, it's a great computer. So I highly recommend the Dell XPS. My brother ended up getting one too. He also loves it. Okay, so that brings us up to date. Okay, so next up on our list, then we'll get back into the questions. The Tremendous Triple, thank you for the kind words on the 700,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. Technical Valkyrie, no, I do not live in America. I live in Thailand. The land of smiles is what we call it here. It's actually what they call it everywhere, is the land of smiles. Okay, so a little Thailand tidbit for you there. Okay, so next up on our list, we've got Isha by Design. Isha by Design says they have a how-to channel. The goal of the channel is education and supplemental income stream. See, that money theme, see. And the question is, what disclaimers, if any, I needed to add in a video for affiliate program? So far, I'm not recommending specific products in the videos. I just mentioned that I put links for easy purchase in the description, and I have there the appropriate Amazon Associates disclaimer. Is that enough? Yeah. So in terms of Amazon, as long as you have their Associates disclaimer there, that's enough. However, the FTC would like you, they actually, tell you to put something next to each link to let people know that that's an affiliate link too. So if you're wanting to play by the book 100%, 1000%, then you have to, then you want to make sure that you put something next to each link that lets people know that it's an affiliate link, or you can do it in a block. So let's say that that you have, all the links from this point down are going to be affiliate links. Then in that situation, you could say, all the links, for all these things I'm recommending below this are affiliate links. If you buy something, I make a purchase. Or if you make a purchase, then I get a commission. So in that situation, then you're compliant with Amazon and you're compliant with the FTC as well. Next up, Anakin Ketchum. We're cruising through these questions today. This is fantastic. Okay, next up we have, hold on, let me get my thing ready here. Okay, next up we have Anakin Ketchum. Anakin Ketchum says that they have an anime channel in sci-fi. The goal is to introduce a person to a show or movie they've never heard of. I remember you from the last couple streams. The question is, hey, really quick, I just want to say that we have Van Clayton Responte saying visit the Philippines after the pandemic. Philippines is awesome. I've been there a handful of times. Love the Philippines. Absolutely love it. I just want to say that real quick. Okay, so the question is, hello, Nick. I love your content. I'm considering branching out with other channels with different niches to test what content I'm good at making. Do you think this is a good idea? I do think this is a good idea. So when it comes to experimentation on your YouTube channel, it's a really good idea to experiment. And what I mean by that, obviously, is to experiment. But what you want to do is you want to say, okay, I am making this type of content, but I would also like to just try my hand at making something else. I really encourage you to open up another YouTube channel and try making that type of content as well, and see if you enjoy making that type of content also. And the reason that I recommend that is because YouTube is a long process. Like I've been doing this since September of 2014, and I just crossed 700,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Another humble brag. But basically, that entire time I've made a lot of videos, and and it's been awesome. I love making this type of content. However, what you want to look at is like, okay, I might love making this type of content, but I want to experiment with some other stuff, see if I like making that too, or see if I like making it better. And the reason I'm saying all that is because YouTube is a long game. It's a long process. Even if you do great right out of the gate, you're still going to be doing it for a while. So as long as you enjoy it. So because of that, it's really important to make sure that you enjoy making content about something that you really enjoy and something that you're good at as well. Because if you can do that, then the whole journey is going to be so much more pleasant for you, because you're going to enjoy every aspect of it. Because once you start making a certain type of content, then you become known for making that type of content. People will talk to you about that type of content. People talk to you about all the subject matter that you talk about in your videos. So it's something that it becomes just interweaved with your life. So because of that, it's really important to make sure that you're doing something that you really, really enjoy. So if you are considering the experiment, definitely go for it, because you might uncover something that you like better. You might uncover something that people respond to better. You know, it might not necessarily be that you're better at making it, but it might be that that people respond to the way that you do it. And because of that, it makes that channel move faster. But one thing that I do recommend, if you are going to experiment with other channels, other types of content, other ways of doing things, one thing that I do recommend is that when you are doing that, just pay really, really close attention to how people are responding, and make sure that with everything that you're doing, that you don't over experiment. And what I mean is, it's really easy to start 10 different YouTube channels doing 10 different things and having to crank out, 20 different videos a week. But by doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to burn yourself out. All that spread focus all over the place. You would be much better served if you were to funnel that down into like 1 or 2 channels instead of like 5 or 6, as an example. So that's what I recommend. All right. So next up on the list, we have, let's see here. Know the World says your advices are good. Thank you, Know the World. I appreciate it. Hey, if you haven't yet, make sure that you share this with a YouTuber friend, somebody that you think would also get value from this content. And also, if you haven't yet,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
AVE Zoid, my man. AVE Zoid in the house. I do need to automate that. That's a really good call there, Doug. So AVE Zoid says, the goal is to entertain people. Says, how do you balance school/work with YouTube? With me, it's easy, because this is it, right? So I mean, in addition to making videos, I also have like a website that I run. I have some other I have the course that I'm putting together. I do tons of like training, things like that. Like I mentioned, the Vid Summit that I'm recording on Wednesday here locally. Like that kind of stuff is going on for me behind the scenes. So I have to balance that stuff as well. However, I put a really strong priority on my actual life. So because of that, I have to balance YouTube with my life. But basically for everybody else, and what I had to do in order, before I was actually able to embrace YouTube as like the thing that I did, is I had my design service. And because of that, I also had the work, that I had to do for that. And then the YouTube channels. So what I recommend is make it a priority. If your goal with your YouTube channel is to grow it so that you can turn it into something, then you have to make it a priority. You have to schedule it. You have to make time for it. And no matter what, come hell or high water, so to speak, like you need to make that content. Like if your goal is to grow the channel. So because of that, like work it into your life. And as an example, you can do something like every Monday, what I do after school, immediately after school, I don't hop on Facebook. I don't hop on YouTube to watch videos. I don't chat with people in, whatever software I'm not, or whatever apps. I'm not on TikTok. I turn off my phone. I set it down, and I go into my bedroom or my living room or my backyard or wherever it is that you make your content. And I have that as my content time. And all I do that day is I just sit down and I make content. And if you do that, then it becomes an easier balance, because of course, with school and work, those things are constant. Those things are always there. They also run on schedules. Since they run on schedules, that also allows you to work your schedule, the things that you want to prioritize in your life and with your YouTube channel, into what it is that you're doing. Okay, next. Okay, next up, we've got, let's see here. Who's Your Daddy? Who's Your Daddy might be my favorite YouTube channel name. Okay, Doug says, let's see here. Super chats, the Driver Sensei. I got Driver Sensei already. Man, how did I miss those? Yeah, from my view, looks like I'm missing some super chats here, but hang tight, I'm getting them. Oh, 88 Ghosts, I see it. Okay, so 88 Ghosts, I'm just gonna work down. Okay, I'll start at the top. Work down from the top. Okay, started at the bottom, now we're here. So let me actually go down to the bottom and start working up. Let's do it that way. Okay, I'm launching the channel. Define phases, character. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the very first one here is from the Driver Sensei. Driver Sensei asks, Hey, Nick, how do I get around TubeBuddy not being able to find and remove phrases with characters within the description? I'm a star license. So I think Andrew Can might still be in the house. If Andrew Can is still here, then he would be a great person to ask for that. But if it doesn't find specific characters, if you're talking about the bulk update, if it doesn't find those characters, then you're going to have to find a workaround or just manually do the ones that it doesn't find. But I would definitely send them a support ticket so you can be very specific about the problem that you're having, because that's more of like a back end issue. So because of that, I would definitely hit up their support on that one. Alex Gear and Tech says that no questions this week, Nick. Just a massive thank you for helping us creators, learning so much from your channels. You rock, dude. 700,000 subscribers. Whoop. Thank you, Alex. High five, fist bump to you. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. And really quick, too, because he mentioned the channels. If you have not yet, at the very top of the chat right now, we have a link to my Nimmin Live Clips channel. So with that, I'm uploading 3 videos per week, and each one of those videos is basically like a segment of a question. So it's the questions that you hear answered, they basically end up there. Not all of them, but some of the questions that you hear here will end up there. So your question, if you have a question here in this forum or in a super chat or whatever it happens to be, then in that situation, one of your questions might end up there. So subscribe, watch the videos, tons of really, really good information over there, especially if you like the live stream vibe anyway, then you're going to be really familiar, especially if you hang out here, you're going to be really familiar with, with the vibe on that channel. Thanks for mentioning that. Let's see here. 88 Go says, any plans for YouTube moderation updates? Do you mean in terms of moderators here, or do you mean moderation on YouTube? I'm not sure. Either one. Like right now for here, I think we have it held down, pretty well. In terms of YouTube themselves, I'm not 100% sure with them what their plans are for the future at this point in time. Next up, we have Science-Based Fitness. Science-Based Fitness says, hey, Nick, I have a question. I saw someone talking about hiding your subscriber count. Is that a strategy that works? No, it doesn't work for anything. And basically when it comes to hiding your subscriber count, the reason that people hide the subscriber counts typically because they're embarrassed or they're unconfident that they don't have a lot of subscribers on their YouTube channel. So they'll hide it thinking that people won't be able to know that they don't have a lot of subscribers on their YouTube channel. But the thing that they don't think about is that when you hide your subscriber count, people can still see your view count, so it doesn't really hide anything. So sure, it doesn't let people know how many people subscribe, but they can still see your view counts. And they can still see how many comments you're getting and all of that stuff. So hiding your subscriber count, there's no real reason to hide your subscriber count. So I don't recommend doing it. It doesn't really serve any purpose whatsoever, unless you're just not into the subscriber thing. If you're like, you know what, I don't care. I want to rest on the laurels of my content, and I don't care how many subscribers I have. I don't care, what other people think about how many subscribers I have. I'm just going to rest on the content itself. Then in that situation, it's the only thing that I can think of that would be like a legitimate reason, or like a reason at all to hide your subscriber count. All right, we had some other ones come in as well. Let me make sure I get these, and then we'll get back into the form here. Crispy Locks says, hey, Nick, I started following you March of 2020 with 48 subs. Since following your advice and faithfully attending your lives, I now have 1,000+ subscribers. High five, fist bump to you. 3,500 watch hours and 215,000 impressions. Listen to Nick, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Crispy Locust, for the super chat, and thank you for the kind words. Keep going. If you can get 1,000 subscribers, you can get 10,000. If you can get 10,000, you can get 100,000, and so on and so forth. The only difference is right now in the time that's in the middle, right? So all the videos that you're going to have to make in order to get to the different milestones, that's the only difference, right? Because if 1,000 people can find value in what it is that you're doing, then 100,000, 1 million, et cetera, can also find value in what it is that you're doing. So nice work on that. Next up, we have
Super Chat.
Pokerev says, yo, Nick, what do you think the minimum stats YouTube algorithm wants to see to push out a video harder based on these stats, specifically CTR, audience retention percent, and average view time? Thanks. Okay, so here's the thing. When it comes to all of these things, it matters per channel, and it matters per space also. And the reason for that is, like, let's say, and I'll just use myself as an example. If you're watching my videos, you're probably familiar with Brian G. Johnson, video influencers, Daryl Leaves, Tim Schmoyer, Roberto Blake, Dan Courier, Creator Fundamentals, Daniel Patel, and Justin and Mike over at Primal Video. And because of that, when I publish a video, like my stats need to be better than their stats, or at least competitive with their stats, in order to show up next to them, in order to show up with them, in order to be ranked in search above or with them somewhere. Like I need to be able to compete with them for the specific terms or phrases or whatever topic it is that we happen to be competing for. And the same with them for me. So based on our space, if we were to all compare click-through rates and impressions and, everything that's happening on our channels, then we would be able to fine tune. If we all were to just share that information freely, which we don't for competitive reasons, but if we did, then one of the things that we would identify is like, hey, this is the baseline for our space. If our videos have at least this, then we're probably going to get a lot of views on them, right? But instead, we have to all individually do that on our channels so that we can have an idea of what those performance indicators look like on each individual channel. So as an example, what you need to do, and I mentioned this earlier in the stream as well, but what you need to do is you need to go into your stats and you need to look at the videos that performed well for you based on the audience that YouTube is showing your content to. And you need to say, okay, the videos that have performed well, these are the metrics for those particular videos. This is my click-through rate. This is the click-through rate for each individual traffic source. And it seems like in this particular video that I'm getting a lot of my traffic from suggested videos. So because of that, based on the amount of impressions that I'm getting from suggested traffic in my analytics, I look under suggested for the traffic sources. I see the watch time I'm getting for suggested. I see the click-through rate I'm getting for suggested. And I see the amount of impressions that I'm getting for suggested. So what that tells me is I need to write these things down. And these are what a performing video looks like from suggested for me in this situation. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be some fluctuations with this, but the general idea is what you're trying to do is you're trying to create that baseline of what good looks like for your YouTube channel. So when you do this, what you're doing is you're looking at the videos that perform, looking at the videos that don't perform, and you're taking out all of that information for each traffic source for each of those videos so that you can say, when my videos do this, and you'll quickly find patterns. When my videos do well, these are what the numbers typically look like. When they don't do well, this is what the numbers typically look like. When my videos do well out of the gate, then they typically have this many views out of the gate and they have this, these metrics around them. If they do good long-term, then typically before them to start doing well, then, they'll start out, with these metrics on them. And then by the time they start actually picking up momentum, then the metrics change into this, which you can figure out by sorting by date range. So the idea is to figure out that baseline for your individual channel, because my stats and your stats are going to be different. Your stats and everybody else here, they're going to be different in terms of, the good fit. Now, another thing to keep in mind is when it comes to this stuff, you're also going to find that in some cases, your video might be awesome. Your click-through rate might be lower than what you would typically get, but your watch time is higher and your engagement is higher. People are sharing the content more. Maybe they're coming back and watching it more. Maybe they rewind and they watch a particular part longer. And because of that, for whatever reason, it triggers YouTube to start showing that video to a lot more people because they're spending more time on it. Same thing applies to in the other direction as well, to where you can also have an exceptionally high click-through rate, but then people are coming in and they're watching the video for, not as long as you would typically think like, hey, people should watch this for like 50 to 60%. People might come in and watch, 15% of a 10-minute video, but based around all the other videos on that topic, you might be winning, right? Like your click-through rate's higher and the amount of time that they are spending on the videos, that particular package creates a lot of watch time per impression compared to the other people that you're competing against for that specific topic. So that was a little wordy, but hopefully that gives you some insight on what you need to do. Next,
Super Chat.
Nick's Fan TV, and it's Nick's like K-N-I-C-K-S Fan TV, says, Nick dropping free gems as usual. Nick, any advice on starting a, hold on, just lost that one. Let me refresh the page over on this side. So when I move, I'm going to put a big TV like right here behind the camera. As long as it doesn't mess with my glasses, I'm going to put a big TV right behind the camera so I can refresh all this stuff and I can have it like right here. So like everything will be like right here in front of me instead of me having to like look all over the place. Super excited for this. Okay, says, Nick, any advice on starting an MCN like a pod network? I want to template my content, creating more fan channels. So creating a MCN, I've never done that before. That's not my, that's not my area of expertise. I don't have any tips for starting an MCN. Like I do know that MCNs like typically are like, unless you are a channel that gets like a lot of views and you are an asset to an MCN, MCNs typically are kind of frowned upon as like a solution for something. So because of that, I'm not sure, the traction that you'll get. I'm not saying don't do it, but in terms of the tips for starting it, I don't have any tips for you. But one thing that I can tell you is there's a podcast called Video Insiders. And on Video Insiders, Tom, I'm opening it up here in the app so that I can confirm that that's the name of it. Yeah, that's it. Video Insiders Podcast. It looks like this. Oh, let's see here. Let me switch it here. So basically, here's my podcast, by the way. If you're not listening to that, you should be.
Even though they're not kids.
Oops. No. There we go. Okay. But basically, Video Insiders, it looks like that right there. So they do talk about some things like that on their podcast. So you might want to check that out, or at least go through their catalog and see if you can find something that that is a better answer for you, that gives you some insights on starting an MCN. All right. Cause that particular podcast, they talk about like channel management and stuff. Like, it's not like, hey, how do you grow a YouTube channel type of podcast? It's more about like, they manage their agencies and they manage other YouTube channels for other people. Couples therapy is the next one that we have on this list. Couples therapy says, is the length of a video important for YouTube to promote it? If so, what would be the length of a video should be? So when it comes to the length of a video on YouTube, the very first thing to think about is that it should be as long as it needs to be. And what I mean by that is, when you are putting your content together, think of the people that are going through your videos. Think of the experience that they are having as they're going through your content. And when you're doing this, the idea of it is that you are optimizing your content for the best possible viewer experience, regardless of the length of that particular piece of content. Now, of course, there have been studies done, like Matt Gielen over at Little Monster Media Company. He did a study based on data from TubeBuddy that showed them that across a very wide range of channels, that between 7 and 13 minutes was kind of a sweet spot. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that if you make videos 7 to 13 minutes that they're going to perform well. All that means is that based on that data, some very large channels and some very small channels, but based on that data, you are, you're not, like, just making a video 7 to 13 minutes isn't a thing unless that 7 to 13 minutes is filled with, good content that people continually watch. So for example, if you make 13-minute videos, but you look in your audience retention reports and you find that people are only watching like 3 minutes of your video, you can trim your videos down to 7 minutes and you'll be fine. Trim down to 8 minutes, you'll be fine. But if you find like, hey, I'm making 13-minute videos and people are watching all the way to the end of a 13-minute video, fantastic. You don't need to make them any longer because you're delivering the value that they're coming to you for. But what you do need to do is you start testing your end screen in that situation. So once you find the length to where people are responding to your videos at a high rate, in terms of you have a high complete rate on the video, then in that situation, that's where you would start experimenting on your end screens, trying to get people to click into more of your content. But basically, when it comes to the actual length of the video itself, there's channels on YouTube that make 1-minute videos and they're huge. Every video they put out, they get, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. There's channels on YouTube that do hour-long or 2-hour-long, just lectures. They also get crushed with views. So, it's not that there's like hey, if you do this is the perfect formula. It's not that. It's basically, you have to think of, how are people responding to what it is that I'm doing, and how can I modify what it is that I'm doing to keep people watching longer or get people to jump to another video on YouTube. Because if you can do either of those things, you are proving through the reaction of the viewers that you are giving a satisfactory experience to people as they're coming through your content. So when it comes to video length, what you want to keep in mind is it's not necessarily about finding an ideal length in terms of, YouTube's ideal length. It's more about finding an ideal length that is a good fit for the people that are watching your videos, in terms of, again, 13-minute video, but people are watching for, a few minutes. It's not doing you any good to make a 13-minute video if by the time you get to the 13-minute mark, you're down to like 5%. of viewership on that particular video, then it doesn't do you any good to make 13-minute videos. But if you're making 7-minute videos and you're getting like a 60% audience retention or even a 50% audience retention, but you're having an exit of like 25 or 50% or 25 or 40%, somewhere, in that range, then in that situation, it's like, hey, this is great. I'm getting people to the end. And since I'm getting them to the end, then that gives me the opportunity to send them into more content. That's the idea. Okay, so next up on the list here, and I'm making sure that I got everybody. Drum roll. Captain Irish
Super chat.
says subscribe to your new channel. Cheers. Welcome aboard to the new channel. And again, for everybody that's watching this right now, I have a link at the top of the chat to the new channel. Again, it's clips. So basically all the questions that you hear answered here today, not all of them, but some of them will end up as clips. So depending on how much I, ramble on, things like that, some of them will end up as clips, some of them won't. But basically that just takes certain highlights of videos that people typically ask, and I throw them on that particular channel. So make sure that you subscribe if you haven't yet. Okay, now we're going to get back into this form for all the people that drop some questions in the form.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. So the nenext one that we have here is from Who's Your Daddy? And man, it seems like it was forever ago that I said Who's Your Daddy is my favorite channel name, right? Like it was like, who's your dad's favorite channel name? And then we went into like a few different super chats, went on a ramble for a little bit, came back, hit record here, made a little clip, came back again. Whew, what a journey that was. Okay, so the question here is that they make videos on an iPhone 11 Pro, type of channels, food, restaurant, travel reviews, and food challenges. Goal of the channels, I want to go full-time on YouTube doing food and travel reviews. The question: what are some good tactics for when and how to use Patreon? Are there any better alternatives? So in addition to Patreon, you also have things like Buy Me a Coffee. You have Ko-Fi. You can do your own as well, to where, you put like a WordPress site together, and then you use like BuddyPress, then you put a paywall there, and, you can do it that way. But Patreon's just like an easy way to do it. And it's also something that people are familiar with. So in terms of good tactics when it comes to Patreon, make sure that you, only offer what you can actually, provide in terms of, content or any, services or any access or whatever it happens to be. Make sure you only offer what you can actually provide, and make sure that you, just think through your tiers. So I think Patreon actually has some training that you might want to check out as well, in terms of just best practices for Patreon. But the idea is to where you have like a certain number of tiers. I think it's either 3 or 4 is kind of the sweet spot. And in that situation, when you have, that 3 or 4, then you basically just have one that is kind of like a, hey, this is just like a saying thanks. And then you have another one that's a little bit better. And then, of course, the one at the very end, that 3rd or 4th one, is a lot more expensive for the people that are, really either dedicated to your content or they really just want to help you make more. But in terms of good tactics, let people know about it. That's the best thing, because if you have it, you can always be, messing with the tiers and things like that until you find something that works best for your audience. But you got to market it. You got to let people know that you actually have it available. So make sure that you mention it in every single video. But make sure you add value first before you mention your Patreon. So what I mean is, when you are putting your videos together, instead of your video opening up and you're like, hey, I am Who's Your Daddy, welcome to another video. Just as a heads up, I have a Patreon, blah, blah. You don't want to do that, because they haven't even had any content yet. So typically a good spot for your Patreon is either in the middle of your video or at the end of your video, so that you can, spread awareness to it through the people that are more dedicated to the content because they've watched for a longer period of time, right? Okay, next up on the list. Oh, let me get this one real quick.
Super chat.
Yomi Sus Kosas, hope I'm saying that right, says, Nick, I would love to see a detailed tour of your studio. When I grow up, I want to be just like you. Congratulations on 700,000 subscribers. You inspired me. Thank you for the kind words. High five, fist bump to you for the congratulations. Thank you. So right now, my place is actually it's like a tornado has went through here. So we are in the process of getting a house and moving out of the condo. And because of that, like, everything's kind of like all over the place right now, because I'm starting to go ahead and start, like just getting stuff out of cabinets and things like that I'm kind of prioritize and that kind of stuff. So it's a mess right now. But in a nutshell, I do have studio videos on the channel. But in a nutshell, it really comes down to this scene that you see right here. And then I have this is the scene that you see right here, right? It comes down to this. And then I also have this area back behind me here that is the standing area. So that's basically like a standing desk. That's where my Dell XPS is. And in that particular situation, that Dell XPS is plugged into that bigger monitor right there, 4K monitor. I have the Rode Broadcaster mic there. So if I need to do any screen recordings or something, I can. And really that's it. I mean, I have, this other side of things as well. There's like a, TV over here where I can play games, all that. I got a little thing over there for gimbals and whatnot. And then there's like a sofa, over here, that kind of stuff. But if you look at my background video on how to, make a unique YouTube video background, if you look at that video and you look at my studio videos, you'll see pretty much the whole thing. But the plans that I'm putting together for the new one, I'm really, really pumped for that. So I'll probably do a couple of videos on that one, like as it's all being put together, possibly. I don't know. I might just do like a finished video. We'll see. Mark Sapila is the next question on our list. Has been on YouTube for less than a year. The type of channel is communication tips from a comedian. The goal of the channel is currently to sell my course. And the question says, hey, Nick, I love everything you do for the community. Thank you. Says your stream is my favorite Saturday routine. I just finished filming my first Udemy course. What's the best way to promote it? I have 300 subscribers and 150 on my email list. My ideas so far are videos on the topic targeted for search, posting portions of the course on YouTube, posting the promo video, and making a YouTube specific promo video. Thanks for everything you do for us. Okay. So if you have a course to promote, of course, awareness is going to be the thing that you're going to want to do. So what you want to think about is when you are promoting that course, instead of saying like, hey, I'm going to make like a trailer for it and stuff like that, don't. So instead of making a trailer for it, just make the videos that will lead people into it. So for that, how you're going to target search, that's fantastic. But you don't want to lock yourself into search. So you definitely want to make some videos for YouTube search, but you also want to try your hand at tapping into search plus extremely compelling, so that you can tap into suggested videos and home traffic as well. Because by doing that, then you're going to spread a lot more awareness about your course. But the idea is every single video, make sure that you are mentioning your course somewhere in the video. You don't have to cram it down people's throats. You can just passively mention that, oh yeah, and I talk about that more in detail in my course. I have a link to that down in the description below, right? And then by doing that, then what you're doing is you're just spreading that awareness at that moment in the video. You can do it verbally. You can do it with a little graphic if you want to have a little graphic pop up. But the idea is just with every single video, spread awareness about it. But think about, this is what my course is about. And I need to think about what videos I need to make in order to increase my chances of getting in front of the people that would be likely to sign up for my course. Okay. So in that case, literally write down everything that you said in your course, like all the information that you share in your course, write all that stuff down. But when you write all that stuff down, don't think to yourself like, okay, I'm going to give this part of my course away. Don't do that. Instead, make new value-based content that the people that would be interested in picking up your course would be interested in, and just make a ton of it. And what you're going to find is over time, as your channel grows, then your income and the traffic that's because of the traffic that's going to your course, as your channel grows, your income is going to grow right along with your YouTube channel as well, because you're continually spreading awareness about it. And by doing that, you're also going to give yourself the opportunity to create just an archive that's constantly working for you in your YouTube channel, since you're just getting started. Now, another thing that I want you to keep in mind is while you're doing this, Nina the Explorer, thank you for coming by the live stream. Thanks for hanging out. But basically, when you are linking to your course, because right now you're doing Udemy, there's a really good chance that if you have success on Udemy, you're probably going to put your stuff on Skillshare. You might even end up making like a standalone through like Kajabi or Thinkific or something. If you do that, then what you're going to end up having to do later is you're going to end up having to go through into your video descriptions and basically swap everything out. And you can use TubeBuddy for that if you're a TubeBuddy user. But another way that you can do it is you can actually if you know enough to put a course together, there's a really good chance that you also know how to get like a domain name, and then you know how to redirect that domain name. So because of that, what I would do is I would get a domain name that is the name of the course, and I would have that you would send people to, so that you'd send that traffic to the domain name. And then that domain name would redirect to Udemy. But by doing that, what you're doing is you're making it to where you're always sending people to that one link. So let's say you do a podcast interview, you send people to that link, it sends them straight to your course. But let's say that you find out that you have more success when people come into your course. Let's say that on Udemy, they pay X amount, they get, full access, but over on Skillshare, when they join your Skillshare course in that situation, because Skillshare, I think they pay by the minute or something like that. Let's say that you find out that it's way more lucrative, or that you decide that, hey, I'm going to do a standalone around this. I'm going to update it and do a standalone. Then in that situation, all you have to do is change the redirect and send it to wherever it is that you want to go, or that you want them to go, instead of having to go through that process of going in and changing up all your description links. I've learned this one the hard way. And sometimes just out of laziness, I'll still just put straight links to places. But having it to where you're bouncing those links off of something is really good. Just make sure that when you are sending people through that link, and this is really important for everybody, make sure when you're sending people through your links that it's clear where that link goes. So for example, in that one, you would have the link, and then you'd put, get my course here, or whatever your selling point is for the course to lead them into it. You'd put that, so it's clear that if they click that link, they're going to your course, and then it would redirect to, to that particular course. Next up, we have commentary from CT. The goal is to grow an audience and revenue. Here we are again with the money thing. And the question is, hey, Nick, says, I was told years ago that it's good to analyze the suggested traffic videos from other creators as a means to gauge how well your video is performing, because the algorithm will only suggest similar performing videos, watch time, average view duration, etc. If the algorithm is suggesting my videos with other videos with 1 million views, is it a good indication of how well my video is doing in the algorithm? And I can expect the video to do well if the stats stay consistent. Also, is this theory still correct today? So here's the thing. When it comes to analyzing where your videos are coming from, it is good practice to stay on top of where you're getting your traffic from, because one thing that you can also identify in that situation is other creators that are sending you a large amount of traffic, so that you can pay really close attention to what, especially if you're trying to grow your audience and get revenue, you can pay really close attention to the videos that they're putting out. And if YouTube is putting you into a box, so to speak, with some of those channels, then what's happening is some people call that a cluster, but basically what's happening is they're associating your channel with their channels. In some cases, not all, but if you're paying attention and you notice, hey, I'm getting a lot of traffic from this particular channel, a bunch of different videos, but this particular channel that gets a lot of views, then in that situation, what you can do is you can start noticing, hey, they're putting out a video on this topic. So since they're putting out a video on this topic, I'm going to make something similar, either something that is complementary to what they're doing, something that opposes what they're doing, but it's going to be topically related. And the likelihood of me showing up next to their video is going to be substantially higher, because YouTube is already putting us in a box together. So because of that, that's why it's really important to make sure that you're paying attention to the where you're getting your suggested traffic from, because then you can start paying attention to those channels, and you can literally start siphoning traffic of sorts, because what you're doing is you are, like, if YouTube is already indicating that, people that are watching this, and they are, showing your videos to a lot of their viewers, then in that situation, you can literally just lean into that and start making content around the things that they're also making content about, so that you can lean into it even more. So yeah, absolutely. That's still a thing. In terms of, saying that your content is being favored, it's not necessarily that your content is being favored, or that your content is, that it's high performing in terms of like, hey, it's next to a video that has 1 million views, therefore this video is awesome. It's not necessarily like that. It's just that in terms of YouTube's testing, when they're showing other videos there, yours just happens to be getting a better response than the other people that are showing up in that particular spot. And that is what is causing part of that. So in that situation, it's not necessarily the video is awesome. It's just that, it could be, but it's also more that it's beating out the other videos that are being shown there in terms of how much watch time it's generating per impression, and just the satisfactory experience, so to speak, that people are having with your video compared to the other ones that YouTube is testing in those spots. All right. So next up on our list, and let me make sure I got this one. I think I did. Okay, yeah, I got that one. Okay, so next up on our list here, we have... Okay, is that the same person? Why is this not changing? Wonder what's up with my tablet today. Okay, let me refresh this. There we go. Okay, the weekly wrap-up says they do every other day is their upload schedule. It's a gaming channel, gaming news channel. Goal of the channel is to help my community become aware of gaming news within the industry and to become a household name eventually on YouTube as a source for video game news. The question, what is the best possible way to have your videos gain views from suggested or recommended over other means like search, which I've been primarily focusing on? You got to get people to click. If you want to get your videos suggested more on YouTube, if you want to get more suggested traffic, if you want to show up on home pages, you have to get people to click and you have to give them a quality experience on your videos. So here's the difference. So when I'm starting this over so I can record it. So if you want to get more suggested traffic on your videos, here's what you have to think about. If you want to get more suggested traffic in terms of you're pulling views from other videos on YouTube, you're showing up next to them, or if you want to get more views from YouTube's homepage, if you're currently getting a lot of views in search, here's the thing that you got to think about. When you are making videos for search, you're competing with just the people that are in the search results. So if you happen to be within, the top 5 or 10 of the search position or of that search page, then you're competing with, those first 5 or 10 people. Or let's say on a worst case scenario, let's say you're competing with like 20 other people. But when you show up on a homepage or next to other videos on YouTube, like you are, let me back that up a second. So you're competing with 5 or 10 other people, worst case scenario, 20 other people, but they're all talking about the same thing that you are. So because of that, people are actively looking for that content that you made, and you just have to have the winner that they pick compared to the other videos that are showing up for that result. But they're looking for it. They're actively interested in what it is that you're doing. So therefore, they're going to YouTube search, typing in whatever it is that you're making your videos about, and they're finding your content next to just those other people there that are also talking about that thing. So you just have to be more compelling than those other people there. Now, when you are getting more suggested traffic, you're getting more homepage traffic, that dynamic changes. Because instead of somebody looking for what it is that you make, you have to be able to get them to click and enjoy your content even when they didn't even expect to watch it. When they didn't expect to see it, you still have to get good at getting people to click and watch your content even without their expectations. So when your content happens to somebody, it just shows up on YouTube's homepage. How good are you at getting people to click on yours compared to all of the other stuff that YouTube thinks that person would be interested in watching at that point in time? How good are you at getting people to click on your video next to other videos that are related, topically in some way, or that YouTube is putting you there as just like a recommended, for you in that particular spot? So how good are you at getting people to click on your content when they are not expecting or looking for your content? The better you get at that and giving them a quality experience. So of course, when they're looking for your content in search, they're clicking on it, they're watching it. And in that situation, they're actually, looking for what it is that you made. So, you can get, it's easier to get people to watch the videos for a longer period of time because they're looking for it. They're already interested before they even have the option to click. They're interested in what you're doing. However, when they're clicking on your videos from suggested or on a homepage, totally different thing. So you not only have to be able to get them to click, but you have to be able to get them to watch for at least a competitive amount of time in order for YouTube to deem to deem the experience satisfactory for those viewers that are clicking on you from the home pages and the suggested. So you have to think of what it is that you're doing in a different way in order to get more suggested and browse traffic. And that thought pattern is when you're packaging your content up in terms of topic, title, and thumbnail, you have to think to yourself, okay, in search, I got this. However, if somebody were to just log into YouTube and see my video right there, it's in that top column right there, or if somebody's on their phone and they're just scrolling through and they just happen to see my video, what can I do for those people? What can I do to make my video compelling enough for the people that I'm trying to reach that those people will want to click on what it is that I have? That's why we're always talking about me and people that make content like me. It's why we're always talking about making sure that you're adding compelling elements to what it is that you're doing. So like if you're trying to rank something in search and you just do like a, how to, do whatever it is in this game or how to do whatever, it's easy. Because in that situation, you're just matching up with what it is that they're looking for, and you can rank in search with just that phrase, and then you're good to go. However, if you start thinking of like, how can I be more compelling with this? How can I put this together in a way that is more intriguing to people? Then what you're doing is you're increasing your chances of getting clicked on in search even more, but you're also increasing your chances of getting clicked on in suggested videos and in the home pages as well, and anywhere that YouTube happens to show your content, or in the home feed, whichever way that you want to look at it. All right. So next up on the list, we've got Mega X-Ray. Mega X-Ray says they upload when they have time. It's a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is I want to hit 10 million in 10 years. And the question, which tip can you really help gaming channels grow? If you're a gaming channel and you are wanting to grow your YouTube channel, like you're seriously wanting to grow it, like you're not just like, yeah, I would like to grow it, but you want to grow it, you need to grow it. You feel like, you know what, I have to grow this YouTube channel because it's a goal that I have and I want to get momentum here and I want to, you know, get all the stuff that comes with having like a YouTube channel. Then what you have to do as a gamer is you have to think about your YouTube channel as a game. Because your brain by default, because you are a gamer, your brain by default looks for patterns. Your brain by default figures out those patterns and how to break them. At least if you're any good at playing games at all, what your brain is doing is your brain is looking for all those different things. For example, when my girlfriend and I are playing Fortnite, we're dropping out of the bus. We know exactly the houses to go to that typically have the treasure chest in there. So we go to, you know, those houses that have the treasure chest, and then what treasure chest like in the next room. Like we know the right places to go. We know the areas that we thrive in, right? So for example, like the red house, the houses with the red rooftops on them, we thrive there. We call it the robot house, but it's like the henchman area that has like the helicopter where there's like the football field or whatever, and then there's like the helicopter area underneath it with like the safe and all that down there. Like we thrive in that area too. So we go to those areas typically a lot because we thrive there, but our brains also know the patterns of what we can expect when we arrive. So in terms of the houses that we go to, in terms of the actions that we take when we get there, we do it to win. So because of that, you have to look at your YouTube channel in a similar way to where you're looking at your channel and you go into your stats and you're like, okay, this is how people are responding to this video. So I need to look for the patterns on how these people are responding to what it is that I'm doing so that I can leverage these patterns and I can make corrections where necessary. And I can start to understand my audience just like I understand the rules of a game or where all the different stuff is in a game. I need to look at the topics that I'm making my videos about just the same exact way that I'm looking for, you know, like where all the, you know, different objects are that I'm trying to, you know, collect in a game. So what you need to do is you need to take every aspect of your YouTube channel and gamify it. And if you do that and you are diligent about it and you really pay attention to what's going on, and you look at your channel as a game, I guarantee you that you will do better here on YouTube if you take that approach. But of course, it's also important to remember that the rules apply. So a lot of times I'll get comments on my videos to where people will say, hey, Nick, why don't you make a video for gamers? And sometimes I do, but most of the time the reply is, well, the same rules apply to you that apply to everybody. You got to get people to click. You got to get people to watch for a fair amount of time. And you have to get people to further engage, subscribe, come back to the YouTube channel on a regular basis, that kind of stuff, so that YouTube can deem your videos and your channels a quality experience for their users. So the same exact rules apply to you there. But in terms of how you can really thrive as a gamer, you got to take the mental approach just like you do with all the games that you play and all the games that you excel at. All right. So Trainer James, thank you for the super chat. Trainer James says, congrats on 700,000 subs. Thank you for the congratulations. Says, my friends make a podcast and I listen while at work. Does me just listening with my phone in my pocket hurt their watch time? No, not at all. So if you have a premium, which allows you to listen to their podcast in your phone or in your pocket, you're fine, because what you're doing is you're actually streaming that video. Even though you might not be visually looking at it, you're actually listening to it. So you might even be doing that, you know, with this live stream. So, you know, I know a lot of people will listen to this live stream as a podcast. They'll listen to it while they're, you know, working in the garage or while they're cleaning the house or whatever it happens to be. And, you know, a similar type of thing happens here to where people aren't like present, but they actually, you know, are listening to it in the background. So if you have your phone in your pocket, but you're actually streaming their video so that you're listening to their podcast, then yeah, you're counting, you're not hurting. And here's the thing, like if they're getting any amount of views whatsoever, then your one view isn't going to make that big of a difference. Like if they're getting like 1,000 views on their channel or on their video or on their podcast, then your one view isn't going to end up making or breaking it to where you have to even worry about it. However, you know, just for the sake of knowing, the fact that you're listening all the way through their podcast, you're actually helping them, not hurting them. So you're good to go.
Super chat.
Travis MVP. What's up, my man? Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words, the congratulations. So for those of you that don't know Travis is actually the one that made this.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Yeah. Love that. Did you do this one too?
Super chat.
Did you do that one too? I can't remember because I know everybody sent these to D, and I'm not sure exactly. The member one I know, but did you make the super chat one too? Not sure, but I know he at least did the members one. But thanks for that, man. I appreciate it. The Elliott family of 7
Super
says
chat.
most of my video suggested traffic is coming from my own videos. Is this good? Absolutely, it's good. And the reason that that's good, oh, you did both. Yep. So you did the voice. I'm like, I think that's him too. But I just wasn't sure. Yes, I figured. So yeah, figured. So thank you for both of those. I use them every single stream. Love them. So in terms of your videos getting suggested traffic coming from your own videos, it's fantastic. You definitely want to be your own suggested traffic source. So one of the things that you always hear me recommending in my content is the importance of making sure that you're sending people to more and more of your content. Right. So, pin comments, make sure that you're using your end screens, use the cards in the last 20% of your videos, make sure you're adding links to your video descriptions, all that. The reason for that is because what you're doing is people are coming to your YouTube channel and they're watching more than one video. And that's exactly what YouTube wants. So the fact that you are your own suggested traffic source, you are definitely doing the right thing because people are digging the content that you're making enough to watch more than one video at a time, sometimes videos in a chain. So because of that, you are on the right track. Keep doing what it is that you are, keep doing what it is that you are doing. All right. So let's see here. Paul Peck Drywall saying Travis is on fire right now. Oops. It just scrolled down. There it is right here. Penny saying, hey, you're my Saturday morning workout buddy. That's good. In your ears, you're in there like getting the cardio in, right? In there. Oh, that's awesome. All right. So Paul saying that Travis is on fire right now. Love it. Absolutely love it. Fantastic. My block strongest man says you just hit 700,000 subscribers and I just hit 70. It's a sign. Absolutely. Here's the thing. I had 70 subscribers once too. Right there's at one point in time, I had 70 subscribers and I was pumped, still pumped. Like my version now, because like basically like as your channel does better and better, it's interesting because like when you're first getting started, you get, a subscriber and you're like, sweet. And then you wake up the next day and you've got like 5 new subscribers. It's like, all right, I'm blowing up. Right. But then after a period of time, something happens to where an expectation almost happens to where it's like, hey, I've got this content library. I've got a certain amount of views that I'm hitting. And if you don't hit certain subscriber marks, you start getting weird about it to where it's like, like, hey, I didn't get 100 subscribers today. So, like what's going on? I got to go and start paying attention, see if I had like a traffic loss on like any high performing videos. But it's just interesting how that dynamic changes. Like, of course, everybody's always appreciated. Everybody always appreciates their subscribers. But at a certain point, it goes from like, sweet 1, 1, 1, 5, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, 100, 100, 1,000, to where it's like, if you don't start hitting those numbers, then you start, getting kind of weird about, not weird, but you know what I mean? But it's just interesting how that happens. But, you're at 70 subscribers right now. This time next year, you might be at 10,000, you might be at 100,000, you might be at 1 million. I don't know what type of content that you're making, or you might be at 100. I don't know. But basically like the cool thing about, just getting started though, and being at that 70 subscriber mark is you have the whole thing, ahead of you right now. And I just want to let you know for everybody here that's just getting started, from the experience of working with a bunch of other content creators too, but also growing my own YouTube channel to 700,000 subscribers, the amount of opportunity, the amount of awesome people, the amount of just cool experiences that you are going to have as a YouTube content creator if you stick with it and you learn how to get the results here. It's incredible. It's an incredible experience. And if you can make it work, then you're going to have an awesome time. And it's going to just transform, it's going to transform you in ways that you can't even imagine. And you're going to absolutely love it. So I encourage everybody to stick with it. Learn whatever it is that you got to learn if it's a skill set. If you suck at writing titles, learn how to write titles. If you suck at making thumbnails, learn how to make thumbnails. If you suck at keeping people watching because you can't edit or you can't present on camera, you can't, speak in a certain way, keep going. Learn how to do those things because it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it if you can put in that work and if you can make it happen. Thrifting Diva, Says, thank you for the super chat. Says that your channel's an inspiration. Can you briefly lay out your planning checklist for each video that you produce? Absolutely. So basically when it comes to me, like if you were to go into my content schedule right now, one thing that you would see is you would see that I have a list of video ideas there. I also have in my phone a list of video ideas, and I also have in a Google Docs folder that is filled with video ideas. They come from like questions from my podcast, questions from, the questions that you're asking me right now in the chat, questions that come from the forum, basically all the stuff people ask on Twitter, things that I see show up on Reddit and, Facebook groups and all that stuff. That's like my idea pool, right? And then from there, what I do is based on what's happening on the channel is I will go through and I'll say, okay, well, I have these certain, obligations that I have to make videos around. So I'll do those. And then when it comes to the other ideas, then I'll just pick things that seem to be important to the community at that point in time. And I gauge that on the questions that are coming in here. So as an example, one of the themes that we've had, I think, like maybe 5 or 6 different questions about monetization. So there's a really good chance that sometime in the near future, I might put out a video on monetization, another one for the sake of, that's something that people are caring about right now. So I use this as a way to do that. But basically when it comes to putting the video together, all I do, and it didn't used to be this way, but I've made enough videos now to where all I do when it comes to my planning process is once I know the topic, I will literally have a Google Doc and I'll just write out some bullet points. These are the things that people need to know about this. And then I'll sit in front of the camera and then I will just have that bullet point thing open and I'll just go for it. And then, that's it. So my planning process isn't that huge, but the topic for me is the important thing, because when it comes to the topic, I have to make sure that I'm putting out things that resonate with you. And then I also have obligations that I have in terms of like sponsors and stuff like that. Do I need to make sure that I'm doing that stuff as well? So I have to mix that in with what it is that I'm doing. And then I also have inside of my content schedule, I have the reason for the video. So I have videos I have a drop down that is, like people need to hear this. I have a drop down for a view video, which is basically videos that are proven on my particular channel to drive more views than other videos. I have money videos, which are typically sponsor videos or affiliate driven videos or like a review video, something like that. That's a money video. And then I also have, what else do I have? I have subscriber videos as well, ones that typically drive more subscribers. Vigard can probably help me with this, but basically like I've got, like a purpose for every video. Like what does this type of content typically do on my channel? And then I'll select that from the drop down, and I'll usually do that when I'm figuring out the actual topic itself as well. But I also have, just as a heads up, like how I mentioned about what's going on in the channel. So what I'll do, I also have a planner that I made, Pad Plan, and I've got a link to it in the description. If you have an iPad, you should definitely get one. But basically what it is I have to where I'll write my content out over the course of the month. And I'll say like, okay, this day I'm publishing this video, and then this day I'm publishing this video. But I'll do that, and then I'll actually, because it's made to use with this, so I'll literally draw videos together in terms of videos that I'm going to recommend, because it's really important when it comes to YouTube that people, when they get to the end of your video, they click on another video and they go watch it. So what I'll do is I'll say, okay, well, this particular video here is going to be related to this, or this particular video here, let's say it's a money video. So if it's a money video, then in that situation, I need to make sure I'm spreading a little bit more awareness about that particular video. So I'll say, okay, well, this video is going to link to that because it's topically relevant. And it would make sense for people to watch that one next. This video here is also going to link to that because it's also topically relevant. And I literally just map it all out that way. But in terms of the topics, that's how I figured out over the course of the month for the topics. And sometimes I'll hit the mark in terms of like, hey, I'll publish that particular video on that particular day. Other times it'll slide around a little bit based on the stats of the channel and that sort of thing. Okay.
Super chat.
Tube Spanner Danielle, thank you for the super chat. Says, here's to the next 700,000 subscribers. Congratulations. Thank you, Danielle. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I've got a link to Tube Spanner down in the description, by the way, everybody. Just a straight link, not an affiliate link. Andrew Can says, YouTube is worth it, just like supporting Nick Nimmin. Congratulations on 700,000 subscribers. Andrew, thank you for the kind words very much and for the super chat. Let's see here. Next up, we've got Tan's ASMR. This is my first time seeing you here, Tan.
Super chat.
Says, congratulations on 700,000 subscribers. You deserve so much more. You have awesome content that has helped all of us so much. Have a great weekend, Tam. Thank you for that, Tam. Thank you for the kind words as well. High five, fist bump to everybody that's wishing me the 700,000 subscriber. Congratulations. I appreciate it. You know what's crazy? And I'm just going to take a moment here, and then we'll get back into the questions. But one thing that's crazy is that, you know, in this process, it's like when I first started on YouTube, like a lot of you that are probably watching this right now, when I first started on YouTube, it was just a thing that I was going to use to generate email addresses. That was it. And I didn't have a plan. I didn't know all the stuff that I know now, or that I've known for a while now. I didn't know, you know, that stuff. And like a lot of you know, I had to come on, I had to kind of figure stuff out. Right. And I had the opportunity to work with another person that actually knew what they were doing. And that literally like lit my spark for YouTube, because they kind of like instilled confidence in me. Plus they started actually helping me understand what was important here on YouTube, and also giving me resources for further education, that kind of stuff. And then I started like studying it and all that stuff. But it's just interesting, like the journey and how it progresses. Like, you know, like it goes to where, like when you first start, you're trying to figure it out. You're kind of stumbling around. You're trying to, you know, just get an idea of how, you know, everything kind of goes together and what you should be doing and what you should be doing next and all that. And then like when you start to get some momentum, it's really cool, because you go from like, hey, I'm trying to figure this out, to like, hey, it's starting to work. And then it starts getting really exciting. And then you start going through that part to where it's getting really exciting. And then it starts getting to where it's like, hey, every video I'm starting to put out, I'm getting consistent views on it. And then the channel starts doing like really well. And then like next thing you know, like you're starting to come on the radar, so to speak, to where you'll have people reaching out to you to do like podcast interviews and things like that, or to do collaborations a lot. And then all of a sudden, like as you know, like further down in the process, like all of a sudden you become like, hey, this person came out of nowhere, because all of a sudden people just start noticing that you have, you know, a lot of subscribers, you're getting a lot of views on your videos or whatever it happens to be. And then you have that to where it's like, you know, people start saying like, oh, wow, you just like blew up all of a sudden. It's like, no, it took me like 2 years to finally get in front of you, you know, type of thing. But, you know, you start coming on people's radar. And then you start getting like comfortable to where it's like, you know, hey, I know that if I put out a video, that people will respond to it in like this kind of way, because you start to understand, right? You start to understand like your stats, and you start to get this like deep understanding of like, you know, how people are responding to your stuff. And you start to, you know, get these expectations of how people will respond. And then what starts to happen is it stays exciting, but that excitement kind of, you know, just like anything else, you know, it just kind of like curbs off a little bit. And then you got to start finding like new ways to, you know, start getting inspired. And then like as things start doing like when you're doing like really well, it's interesting, because it starts changing from like, okay, like I'm good, so now what can I do to start like helping out other people like even more, right? And then you start like taking that approach, and then you start putting in like extra time and like, you know, helping other people out, you know, paid or not, whatever, but you're just like helping people out, giving advice. Maybe you're in a Facebook group and you see somebody struggling, so you're in there, you know, trying to help them out, or you're on Reddit or whatever, trying to help them out. It's just a really interesting process. Like people like Casey Neistat, for example, he's got, you know, tons of subscribers, or Mr. Beast. Like for those guys, like the experience that they've went through, like I can't even imagine like mentally, how interesting that has to be. You know, like when you have like 10 million or like 25 million, you know, people that are watching your videos, you're getting like hundreds of thousands of views or millions of views, you know, for the videos that you're putting out, every single time. Like, that has to be a really cool feeling, and just a really cool sense of accomplishment, you know, in terms of, you know, them being like, you know, like, hey man, like I took this thing that is really hard. I took this thing that's really difficult, and that is kind of like a cool thing to do, right? Because it's like cool to be a YouTuber. So it's like I took this thing that's difficult, and it's also like a cool thing to do, and I was able to make it work. You know, like it's just a really cool thing for them. I'm sure that they experience, but even, you know, like in my situation too, like, and a lot of you, you know, like I know there's people in the chat right now, you know, like that 100,000 subscriber milestone, like the fact that you've hit that is just incredible. 50,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. It's incredible that you know, that people get those view counts and they get those subscriber counts. Is absolutely incredible. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just wanted to share like how interesting it is, how those things, you know, change over time, going from like 70 subscribers to like 700,000 as an example. It's just such a such an interesting process, and like all the different things that happen, and like the perception of you is also interesting as well, to where, you know, previously certain doorways that, or certain doors that, you know, that you just couldn't kick down with like a whatever those things are that police kick doors down with, like it, you know, like you couldn't even, you know, kick down doors with that, but then, you know, those doors start opening up for you to where then you can start reaching out to people and stuff. Like it's just an incredible experience. And I hope that for the people that are watching this right now, for all of you guys, I really hope that, you know, wherever it is that you happen to be on this journey, I hope that, you know, that all of you, I wish all of you get to experience something like this, because it's super cool. I was eating dinner the other day, and the different places that I go, you know, here locally, just like, you know, where you are locally, like, you know, when you go certain places a lot, you start talking to the people there and stuff, and eventually little bits of information come out. But now, you know, like the local Starbucks, they know that I'm a YouTuber. You know, some of the places that I go eat on a regular basis, they know I'm a YouTuber. But there was a new staff member at one of the places that I eat. And she came over, and she was, you know, taking my order or whatever. And she was like, "Are you a YouTuber?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you know, they said back there that you're a YouTuber or whatever." And she's like, "That's so cool." She was like, "You know, what's your channel? I want to subscribe to your YouTube channel." But it's just an interesting thing, like that perception, right? How you go from, you know, like nobody knowing, you know, like your name or being interested necessarily in like what it is that you're doing, to like all of a sudden it's like, hey, this person's doing this like cool thing, so, you know, I want to subscribe to their YouTube channel. You know, it's just an interesting process, and I really hope that everybody gets to experience it, because it's just an interesting, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. So thank you for helping to make that possible for me. Professor Nez, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. Okay.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Trainer James, welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure that next time you are on Facebook, you look for the Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. In that Facebook group, you can ask questions, or, you know, whatever it is that you have about YouTube. You'll see the conversation in there. So we don't do like, hey, here's a link to my channel, go review it. We don't do that. But we do that kind of stuff in live streams. But for the community there, awesome community. Everybody's extremely helpful. And basically what we do is, like, when people ask questions, you definitely want to go, like, if you enjoy these live streams and the information that comes from here, once you're in the group, you definitely want to scroll through and see all the different questions that people are asking, because there's some really good gems of information in there as well. In terms of just, you know, questions that you might have that you don't know that you have, they're answered. You know, there's a lot of them that are answered in there, but it's a really awesome group that we have. Okay, so there's another super chat that came through. So let me get back to what we're doing here, because I just had to stop and have like a sentimental moment with you for a second. But let me get back to what it is that we are doing here. Okay, so next up we have okay, so Pixapia, thank you for the super sticker. The Nurse Flipper
Super
says,
chat.
thanks for all the help, Nick. I'm hoping I'm at that point now. I'm getting consistent 1,000 videos views all of a sudden, which is nice. Which is nice. Over 500 subscribers this month. Nice. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like, watching that monthly subscriber count and thinking to yourself, like, wow, it used to take me a month to do this, and now I'm doing it. Or you know, you did last month. Okay, so it's like looking at that, you know, 500 a month. It's like, you know, it used to take me 6 months to do this. Now I'm doing it in a month. And there will come a point to where you're like, man, it used to take me a month to do this. Now I'm getting this in like a day, or, you know, every other day, or whatever it happens to be. So yeah, so nice work to you on that. Pixelpia says, congrats on 700,000 subscribers. Love your clips channel, since I rarely have time for the whole live stream. Awesome. Glad that you are enjoying that content. And make sure, for everybody else watching, make sure that you, there's at the very top of the chat right now, there is a pinned comment that leads you to the new channel. It's the clips channel. Make sure that you head over there and you subscribe to that right now. Because you know, we're still going to be here for like a couple more hours. So subscribe to that now. And then of course, you know, you can come back here and hang out. Next up, we've got Tino
Super chat.
Presenti says, I have 1.5 thousand subscribers. I changed my niche. I can't go back to the old niche. My subs stopped watching my content. Should I start another channel? At 1.5 thousand subscribers, really, you're probably going to be okay. If you want to keep going on your channel, you would be fine to do that. It's okay. You know, channels pivot all the time. All you need is like one good video, or like a few good videos, in order to set your channel back on the right path again. Or you could start from scratch on another channel so that you're just fresh, clean slate, and you just start putting out that new type of content. That's definitely an option as well. If it was me and I had 1.5 thousand subscribers, I would start a new channel just for that, keep it all clean. However, doesn't mean that you need to. People will pivot at 10,000 subscribers, 50,000, 100,000. So, it just really depends on, how, like, if people are just like, you're getting no response at all, and you think that it's because of that, then in that situation, then you might want to try a new channel. But if you are not getting a response at all, I'd definitely go into your analytics. I would look and look at the impressions that YouTube is giving you now compared to what they were giving you previously, so that you can get an idea and make sure that they're showing your content, enough as well compared to what it was that they were doing before. Also, look at the stats that you are getting for the views that you are getting on your videos and compare those to the ones that you were doing before, and just see, how big of a response difference you are getting between the two different types of content. And if it's extreme, then in that situation, yeah, I would just go ahead and hop on the new channel. Car Galaxy Studios, what's up, dude? Hope that you're doing awesome. Welcome to the stream. Mum V Teen says, modern relaxation. Make sure that you fill out the form so that Nick knows that it's you. Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, so when you are going to the Facebook group, make sure that you fill out all the information on the way in, because that's how that I verify that you are indeed a member. Next question that we have here is from the excellent dude. That's excellent, dude. Says the type of channel is Excel tutorials. The goal of the channel is to drive awareness of my in-person training and monetization. The question, congrats on 700,000 subscribers. Thank you. And I have a video that is about 10 minutes that's done pretty well. YouTube suggested, and I was thinking of redoing it in more detail and on longer format. Is much of the content is the same as the shorter version of the video? Would YouTube have issues with it? No, you're making a completely different piece of content. You're actually adding more to it, so you'll be fine. Yeah, nothing to worry about there. Let's see here. Next up on the list, we have Greg's VR. So I want to tell you really quick that the Star Wars Squadrons, I haven't had as much time to play it as much as I would like to, but for the bit that I've played it, I'm probably about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours now of total time in there, just kind of flying around. But it's awesome. Absolutely awesome. But let's see here. The type of channels, VR gaming and VR sim racing. Somebody just say the dude abides. Excellent dude says the dude abides. Good. Love it. VR gaming and VR sim racing, and the goal of the channel is to get big in my niche. And the question, the estimated revenue number on the mobile creator studio app is significantly higher than on the desktop, which is more accurate. Here's the thing is you have like caching problems between the two different apps and things like that. So they will end up syncing up. Both of those are estimated. So like what you find in your actual AdSense, like that's what you're actually going to get like once the period has ended. So like what you're getting in both of those is estimates. So don't even worry about it. Just look at both of them and say, okay, this is kind of like my general range. If it's a massive difference, then in that case, I would send at Team YouTube a tweet on Twitter and see if they can look into it. But in most cases, it's just a caching issue, like something hasn't caught up yet. And I wouldn't even like waste your energy even worrying about it. I would just say, this is what this says. This is what this says. I'll average them out in the middle, and I'll expect just kind of like a general this, right? Also, make sure that your date ranges match up too, because sometimes people will switch one to like 30 days instead of 28, which will give them different numbers, or one will be on 90 days and they won't notice. And then the other one will be on like 30 or 60, and then and they won't notice that. And because of that, they'll see different results as well. I'm guessing you're not in that situation, but I just wanted to say that just in case. All right. So next up on our list, let me answer this one really quick as well. It just closed down. And let me refresh this page. And while this is refreshing, I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 browser plugin for YouTube content creators. Helps you tag your videos, helps you find awesome topics for your audience, helps you optimize your videos for discovery on YouTube as well. And you can also test your thumbnails using TubeBuddy also, so you can make sure that the thumbnails that you are making are effective and not just pretty. So you can install TubeBuddy free at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin, so you can see what TubeBuddy can do for you. Also, this stream is co-sponsored by StreamYard. That's the streaming software that I'm using to stream this live stream with. And StreamYard, it's literally, in my opinion, it's the easiest live streaming platform on the face of the earth. And you can see right here, this is the interface. Of course, we just went to the Twilight Zone there in the middle, but this is the interface of StreamYard. And you can see here that you can see the chat, moving around over here. They allow you to where you can actually pin comments directly to the screen as well. You can even see the super chats as they come in, but you can also add graphics and things like that as well. So if you go down into brand, you can see that I have some graphics loaded up here to where I can click on that, and then it shows over here that the stream is sponsored by TubeBuddy and StreamYard. I can add, this down here for my podcast to let you know that my podcast is available, and you should be listening to my podcast. All of that good stuff. You can even add countdowns and other video clips as well. But you should definitely check out StreamYard if you are a live streamer. All right. So next up on our list here, we have, I think I was actually going in to see what that was. Yeah, Swamp Stuff. Okay. So Swamp Stuff
Super chat
says, hey, Nick, loving the stream. I really struggle talking on camera and I hate my own voice on playback footage. Any tips? So give me a hashtag me if you are not a fan of yourself talking on camera. If you are, struggling with that in any way, shape, or form, just give me a hashtag me. Dapper Tiger,
Super chat.
thank you for the super chat. Says, congrats on 700,000, Nick. Thanks for all you do. Next step, 1 million subs. Next step is 800. And then 1 million, right? We're getting close. We are getting close. Getting close. But hey, thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, so when it comes to talking on camera, and you're going to hate this, but when it comes to talking on camera, the thing that's going to help you the most, of course, is practice. But in addition to practice, this is going to sound completely ridiculous, but I want you to bear with me on this. So when you are at home alone, or you're in your car, or if you live in Asia and you're on your scooter, or you're out walking around and there's nobody around, practice. So you don't necessarily have to be making a video in order to present like you are making a video. When it comes to being comfortable on camera and, having that camera presence, practicing how you're using your voice is going to be very beneficial for you. Practicing the pacing in terms of how fast or slow that you talk, practicing speaking fast and then slowing down for emphasis, being slow, speeding up for emphasis, putting emphasis on certain words in certain places for the sake of impact. Practicing those things will really help you go a long way when it comes to the presentation on your, when you're actually in front of the camera. If you practice those things, like for example, stand in front of the mirror, or just when you're walking around your house, you can even be doing it while you're cleaning. If you're cleaning right now, you can do this. But basically what you do is while you are doing something in your place, talk, right? Talk about whatever it is that you talk about in your videos. This is also going to help you with your it's funny, the irony in me not being able to say it, right? Your free thought. It's going to help you do that and be able to work through doing that as a presenter. So as you're practicing, what you want to do is you want to work on your inflections in your voice. You want to work on the pacing of how you're saying things, work on speeding up and slowing down, pausing, because there's a lot of impact in pausing as well. And by doing that, what you're going to do is you're going to develop the skill set of being able to recognize what it is that you're doing, right? Your brain is going to be able to recognize in real time what's coming out of your mouth, and more importantly, how it's coming out of your mouth. Because in a lot of cases, it's not necessarily like what it is that you're saying, it's how you're saying it that brings a lot of presence to your camera presence. So because of that, practicing in that regard is going to be very beneficial for you. Another thing, when you're practicing on camera, or when you're on camera, when you're making videos, also another thing to make sure that you're doing is making any notes that you can possibly think of things that you are already uncomfortable with. So let's say, as an example, let's say that you say a lot of ums and ahs. Then in that case, writing down and then putting it right underneath your camera, take a little Post-it note and stick it right underneath your camera so that you can be mindful of that thing if you notice yourself doing that a lot. Same exact thing if you're using a lot of filler words, like, right? Like, I'm using like a lot. So therefore I got to make sure that I put this note here so that I can be mindful of it, so that I can think to not use that word. Okay. So, so when it comes to your camera presence, like those are things. Also, when you're presenting on camera, the camera kind of takes away just a tad of energy. So because of that, you don't have to be ridiculous, because you still want to, do your thing and present how you present or how you are, but raising your energy up just a tad for the sake of compensating for what the camera takes away can also be really beneficial. So for example, while we're making this video right now, or while I'm doing this live stream right now, I'm speaking louder than I would be speaking if my girlfriend was hanging out here and I was talking to her, right? If she was sitting right next to me and I was talking to her, then if I was sitting next to my girlfriend, I was talking to her, then my volume would be about like this, right? I would be talking to her. My volume's much lower in this situation. I wouldn't necessarily be paying attention to what it is that I'm even saying. Like, of course, I would be paying attention to what I'm saying through the conversation, but I wouldn't be thinking of it in terms of like, hey, I'm presenting. I have to be on right now. Okay. But when it comes to the live stream or when it comes to making content in that situation, I'm on, right? So in my brain, it's like, okay, it's go time. And then my energy level will go up. My voice will get louder. Depending on what's going on, my voice might even drop a little bit or raise a little bit in terms of like the pitch of my voice for the sake of making sure that I'm nailing it, so to speak. But that's a big part of the camera presence, is just kind of getting yourself into on mode. And when you can do that, and you can do it in a snap, then you're going to end up being much better on camera, live streams, interviews, all that stuff. Now, as a thing, when it comes to me, like a lot of you, watch my content, you watch it on a regular basis. However, there's also a lot of comments that I get where people say, hey, you talk too fast. So because of that, I naturally just do that anyway in terms of talking quickly. I've just always been that way. So, you want to lean into the things that you naturally are, but you do want to take that feedback. So if every comment on my channel is like, hey, dude, you talk too fast, you talk too fast, you talk too fast, I would slow it down. And the reason I would slow it down is because like the majority is saying that I'm talking too fast. So therefore I'm not resonating. And I need to kind of dial it back a little bit, but you just want to be mindful of that sort of thing as well. Now, when it comes to not liking the sound of your own voice, the more you do it, the more you listen to it, the better you're going to get and the more familiar with it you're going to get. But you can use software like Adobe Audacity or Adobe Audition or Audacity, which is free. And you can actually process your voice. And when you process your voice, it can make a world of difference. So for example, when we're putting my videos together, we run my voice through a process. Even right now, even for this live stream, this microphone is plugged into this and there's processing going on. So right now I have, unless I've turned it off somewhere, which I don't think I did. No, I didn't. So basically like my voice, I'm having like, it's basically running through a thing that's adding a little bit of low end, a thing that's adding a little bit of high end. It's adding like a noise gate. It's adding dynamic processing to it, which is kind of just giving my voice more oomph. But we do a similar process when we are processing my voice for the videos as well. And it just makes the voice sound more pleasant. So you can try learning how to do that as well. I really recommend Mike Russell for that. He makes awesome content he actually just crossed, I think, 200,000 subscribers on his channel too. But basically on his channel, he actually teaches you how to process your voice. So you might want to go and watch some of his content as well. But hopefully that helped.
Super chat.
RPM Nexus, what's up, dude? Says, I plan to start doing live streams where I talk with other content creators and what tech they use. Any tips on reaching out to other content creators? Congrats on 700K. Thank you. In terms of reaching out to other content creators, Twitter is great. DMs, actually tweeting at people. Instagram is great. Of course, YouTube, on every single YouTube channel page, as long as the creator added it there, you have a business inquiry email. So you can also reach out to people through that as well. But those are great methods in order to be able to reach out to people. A lot of content creators also hang out on Facebook and Reddit. So you can also use those as other places that you can find content creators to interview also. And there's some others that came through. Let me go ahead and refresh this so I can get those answered for you. And in the meantime,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Okay, so the next ones that we have here on the list are from
Super chat.
Mercinowy Resinje 2.0 says, I've started a new channel. What's your thoughts on moving some content from the old channel to the new one? If you are putting the same content on the new channel that you had on the old channel, then in that situation, you would be putting up duplicate content, and that's not something that you want to do. YouTube, in a lot of cases, will actually flag it during upload and tell you that you can't if it's the same exact video. So what you would want to do in that situation, you'd want to download and then delete the videos from the one channel, maybe even edit them a little bit for the sake of it being a little bit different, and then re-upload it to the new channel that you're doing. That should be a way that you can get around that. But But if you have two of the same video on the platform at the same time, then that is duplicate content, and that is frowned upon on YouTube. All right. Next up, we've got My Camera Junkie saying, I'm Puerto Rican. My volume is never an issue. Oh. Okay, so let's see here. Next up on our list, we've got Eat Like an Apex. They upload 1 time per week or more. They are a food-inspired travel vlogger, and the goal of the channel is to make $10,000 or more a month, strategizing with multiple revenue streams. With that type of channel, shouldn't be too hard. The question is, I started the Amazon Associates Affiliate Program, and then I was introduced to the Amazon Influencer Program. Do they both work the same, and do rates go into my one account? Okay, so when it comes to Amazon, if you sell things through your influencer account and you sell things just as through your affiliate account, then your payout is still going to be one payout directly from them, because essentially what you're doing as an influencer is your affiliate marketing, but you're just doing it through their page instead. So it's the same exact thing that you're doing. It's just a different avenue to get them to the stuff that you're promoting. So basically, you're driving traffic to the page instead of driving traffic to the individual item. So that's the difference between the two. So yeah, you should be completely good there. But one thing that you might want to keep in mind if you're trying to get to 10 grand a month is, one, you definitely want to just go hard on the affiliate stuff, but the payout on Amazon, unless you're going high ticket items, is really low. So the volume is going to have to be there for that. So you're going to need to get a lot of views. So one thing that you might want to think of is any types of like box stuff or any types of like recurring things. If you're trying to get to that number quickly, anything that's recurring around travel and food, I would definitely try to tap into that. You can also do things as well through other like non-directly related affiliate things to where some sales will trickle in. But the idea is that you want to make sure that you're making content that is a really good fit, or that you're promoting things that are a really good fit for the audience that's consuming your content at this point in time, so that your conversions can be higher. Also think about, if you're not doing it already, review videos are fantastic for affiliates. Also comparison videos. So if you have two competing products, excuse me, if you have two competing products, everybody just freaked out and put their masks on, right? If you have two competing products, then in that situation, either one they get, you win, right? You get a sale. It doesn't matter if they go with product A or product B, you still get the sale, like regardless of that situation. So also making a lot of comparison videos will also help increase your affiliate revenue. All right. Next up on the list, we've got Alex the Wolf. Alex the Wolf says, gaming channel, the goal of the channel is uploading for entertainment goal, not to get stuck. And the question is, why am I stuck on 26 for 1 month? You're stuck on 26 for 1 month. It could be based on the amount of traffic that's coming into your YouTube channel, based on the amount of videos that you're putting out, or based on the way that people are responding to your content. Like, here's the thing. And this is really important for everybody to understand. If you are a content creator and you are, especially if you're new here, like to this stream, because, if you're a regular here, if you're a veteran, then in that situation, you're already familiar, with this idea. But basically, if you're a new content creator, you're new to this stream, one thing that's really important to make sure that you understand is that we don't get rewarded by the work that we put in, how much time we spend, how much effort we put in, or how important it is to us. We get rewarded by how people respond to the content that we're putting out. So because of that, if you're stuck on 26 subscribers for 1 month, that means that people aren't resonating with what it is that you're doing, or you're not getting enough views for what it is that you're doing, which would allow people to, enough people to be able to resonate. So because of that, the things that you need to work on right now are, because, like if you're not getting the results, that means you have work that you have to do. So because of that, what you need to work on right now is you need to work on how you're titling your videos, how you're putting your thumbnails together, how you're looking at that thumbnail title combination and topic as a package from the outside, and start defining why people should click on what it is that you are making compared to all of the other gamers that are making videos on the same exact thing. You also need to look at your actual video content and think to yourself and define why people should be watching your content instead of the other people that make content like you do as well. And once you can define those things, on the front end, before they actually get to the content and in the content itself, and because I made it isn't a thing, or because it's funny isn't a thing, because that is, it's like your personal bias in that situation. So it needs to be something that, that you can clearly define for someone else why they should, why they're going to get value out of what it is that you're doing. If you can do those things, then you'll start getting unstuck, because in that situation, then you start focusing way more on the people that are watching your content instead of, just putting content together for the sake of putting content together. All right. Chaotic Invader says that they also have a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is I love to make videos and entertain people and create a friendly and fun environment to help people make new friends. My goal is to reach millions of subscribers. So there's an awesome amount of entertainment and love and unity among people. And my question is, I've been playing one game and streaming, uploading mostly of that specific game, and have reached 300 subscribers with that. Now, I want to step that game up and I want to stream and make videos of a different game. I want to know the best way or some ways to attract viewers of the other game I'm about to play. So when it comes to this, one, there's the Hail Mary approach of just saying, hey, this is the game I want to play now, and I'm just going to make it. And some people are going to be on board. There's going to be some crossover. Other people are not. And just accepting that. There's also the strategic approach, which is, if I'm making games where, let's say that it's a car racing game and I'm making car racing videos and live streams on a regular basis, well, in that situation, if I'm going to start making another game, it would make logical sense, something you would want to experiment with, of course, because logic doesn't always, work out the way that we think. But basically, the next logical thing would be, okay, well, if I have an audience of people that are into race car games, then if I'm making videos about another game, it should probably be a race car game. And the reason for that is for those people. So it's an easy crossover for people that are interested in racing games. And then your channel becomes a resource for people that are interested in racing games. Now you can, without question, if you have a channel about racing games, you can also, have, other types of games that you play. But one thing you have to keep in mind is some of those videos, depending on the response that you get, because you could get a high response and those videos could just do fine. But some videos, when you're putting them out, if you were making racing games and you start doing like war games as an example, then in that situation, some of the people are going to cross over, right? But you might have less people cross over to where initially it might seem like, oh, this is a really bad idea. But ultimately, what you really need to do is just keep putting out that content so that you build up that pillar of content to where it's like, I was making racing games, I had that audience, some people crossed over. Now I'm focusing on these other types of game or this other type of game. So now I just have to, put out enough good content to where the people that are interested in this are going to be seeing, this content more than they will be seeing the racing games. Those racing games will still be bringing people in that are into the racing content. And then you have this other pillar of content that's around the other thing that you're going to do that you're going to have to build up as well. And by doing that, what you do is you create different pillars of content around what it is that you're doing. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to expect the same exact results from the race car stuff that you would for the new stuff. But you can get the same results or even better by, going a different route just based on how people respond to it. But just look at it as each game that you're going to do is just a new pillar of content. And you might have to build that pillar up over time in terms of YouTube getting an understanding of people that are watching this channel. They're not just watching race car games now. Now they're watching race car games and they're watching COD. Right. So by doing that, you just have to build that next pillar up. Okay. Next up on our list is Dinar Rider 91 says they upload one time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They have an education motorcycle safety and how to. That's cool. The goal is to help make better, safer, more confident motorcycle riders. That's cool. Definitely needed. The question is, hey, Nick, I've been told several times that my audio needs work, and I've listened. I got a Tascam DR05. Is that what I have? I think I have one of those too. Dealing with 80 plus mile per hour winds. What settings should I have it set to? I'm not sure if that's the lav or, yeah, so that's probably not this thing because this is like a big interface right here. This is the one I'm talking about right here. Also Tascam there. But yeah, so for the settings for it, man, I don't know. Like for the wind noise and all that, I have no idea what your settings should be. I've never tried to record audio on a motorcycle, so I wouldn't even know where to start in that situation. So what I would do is I would just hop on YouTube, how to get better audio for moto bloggers, and see if you find some good solutions there. I know my brother was messing around with that at one point in time, and when he was doing it, one of the things that I think he did was he ended up like putting it in there, and then he put like a big wind thing. Like, so basically, let me switch it to this while I'm going over here. These You might be using these already, but this is called a dead cat. This is just like a windscreen, just like this kind of. But basically, on a motorcycle, holy cow! Like this wouldn't necessarily fit inside of a helmet. I guess it might feel a little weird if it did, but basically, you definitely need something like this because you're going to need to cut down on that wind. These are fantastic for high wind because basically all these little hairs send the wind in a bunch of different directions and keep it off of the microphone. So you might want to look into something like this. It's called a dead cat, and you might actually have one. It might have come with your mic, but you definitely want to look into using something like this. The Gaming Shelf
Super chat.
says, my channel's had great momentum this year, but after returning from a 3-week break, my numbers have been way down and I'm bleeding subscribers. Any tips to get back on track? Congrats on 700K. Thank you. So when it comes to your momentum has been great, but then you took a break for 3 weeks and your numbers are down, something to think about is if you consistently upload videos to YouTube, the way their system works is that those new videos typically get a little bit more attention because the YouTube is actively trying to show that content to people to figure out what it is that or what audience is a good fit. What audience is a good fit for that particular content. So what you want to do is consider that the reason that your channel seems to be going much slower right now could be that you don't have any of those new videos out there. So typically, let's say that you upload 1 video per week or 2 videos per week or 3 videos per week. Well, YouTube is actively showing those videos to more people to see who they are, see who responds to it. So when you take a 3 weeks off, if you don't have content that just continually drives traffic to your channel, then in that situation, you are down, so to speak. 3 videos if you upload 1 time per week, 6 videos if you upload 3 times per week, that would typically be getting that extra attention. So because of that, it would cause your stats to be down. Now, when it comes to bleeding subscribers, the subscribers themselves, they might just be like, hey, he's not uploading anymore or whatever it happens to be. So therefore I'm out. But I can't imagine that you'd be losing like that many subscribers just from not uploading for 3 weeks. Unless your audience is just like, like that kind of, those types of folks. But I can't imagine that you would be taking like a really big hit from not uploading in terms of people like leaving en masse.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
All right. You guys had like this weird like thing in my throat just now. All right. Trying to get that worked out. Little frog, I think is what that's called. But basically, yeah. So when it comes to that, I'm not sure on the motorcycle thing, but back on this, so I would consider that. But in terms of your subscribers leaving, just get back in your normal schedule and you'll be fine. You'll level out, you'll be fine, you'll get back to normal. And then over time you'll just keep doing better. But definitely don't sweat it right now. Just get back in your normal schedule and then you should see your stats come back up and then people, not leaving as quickly, once you start uploading on a regular basis. In terms of get the tips to get back on track, the thing that's going to get you back on track is to start uploading your videos again. Okay. So next up on our list, I think that got everybody taken care of. I'm going to double check here really quick. And while that's loading, I'm going to talk to Dinah Rider. No, we got Dinah Rider taken care of. Next up, we've got Mission Outdoors. Mission Outdoors says they upload when they have time. And the type of channel is hunting and fishing. And the goal is fun, but hoping to gain extra income as well. See, there's that money thing again. See? And the question is, what's the best way to manage time to film and edit when you have a very busy and distracting household? So block it. What I mean, if you have trouble keeping up with an upload schedule because of work, because of school, because of family life, because it's hectic around the house, whatever it happens to be, we tend to, just as people, we tend to be able to find time for things that we prioritize. So what I mean is, let's say that you have a Netflix show that you watch. I think Mandalorian's coming back soon. So if you're somebody that watches The Mandalorian, when those come out, you're going to find time in the day to watch that Mandalorian episode. You're going to make it a priority if you're a fan, because you want to make sure, like, oh, I've been waiting, however long for this. I got to make sure that I watch it on the day that it comes out. So you're going to end up making that a priority. Same exact thing comes to YouTube. Like if you need to upload and you need to do that so that you, because you want to create an additional income source, then in that situation, you got to make it a priority. You have to. If that means that you have to sacrifice Netflix time or Hulu time or whatever services you watch, YouTube time, whatever, if it means that you have to sacrifice some of your consumption for the sake of creation, go for it, because it will end up being worth it in the end. If it means that you have to, not go see that movie or not go do something in order to make sure that you get that content out, if one of your goals is to create extra income from it, like, you have to make it a priority. So that means that if there are, if you have a busy and distracting household, then that means that that you have to find a time that the household isn't as busy or distracting, or work it out with the whole family, work it out with the whole team, and say, look, here's what's going on, everybody. I am trying to do this thing here on YouTube. And while I'm doing this thing on YouTube, I'm trying to, do it so we can create extra income for the family, so that we can, use it for XYZ or whatever. And because of that, I need like 2 hours a week or 5 hours a week or whatever, 8 hours a week, to where, we're going to block it out into these times to where I would really appreciate it if, one, you could make videos with me, or two, to where you could just try to be a little bit quiet, a little bit less crazy around the house, so that during those times I can make the videos. There's that option. Now, there's also the option, if you actually have problems in terms of your recording environment, there's also the option to where you can go to a friend's house that is cool and supportive and make videos there. There's the option where you can go outside and make videos there, to where you go to a park or something like that and you make videos in those places. Or in your case, you're hunting and fishing. So while you're hunting, while you're fishing, you can make videos there. And then you just have home for the edit, so that in that case, you put on some headphones, go into your mental zone in that situation, sit there in front of the computer, or sit there on the sofa while everything's busy and crazy. Sit there on the sofa with your feet up on your laptop, or on your tablet, or on your phone, however you're editing your videos, and do the editing part there with headphones on. Then that way you have the content that you're making while you're hunting and fishing, or out in the wilderness somewhere, and then you have the editing process that you do at home. So if it's a priority and you're wanting to turn it into an income source, then that's what you're going to have to do in order to make that happen. Mission Outdoors. Did I just do that one? I did. Okay. So next up on our list. Oh, you know what? Another super chat came through. Give me 1 second. I am trying to. There was a green one I saw. I don't know if it's a super chat or a member. I'm kind of scrolling up the screen here really quick, and I can't find it. Oh,
super chat.
Lana Delian, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Got the PHP there coming from the Philippines. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome country. Stay safe over there. I know it's a little crazy right now. D.A. Danson says, congrats on 700K. Thank you. My first videos are a good idea for art tutorials, but they are so bad and long as videos for YouTube. Should I remake the ideas? Absolutely. That's totally okay. You can remake videos topically, no problem at all. So like if you look at my channel, great example of this. Like I have probably like 4 or 5 different videos on naming your YouTube channel. I've got who knows how many on getting subscribers. I've got how many on getting watch time. I've got, tons of videos on, topically the same thing, but the actual content itself is different. Some of the information is different as well. So absolutely go for it. It's perfectly okay. You just don't want to like repeat the same video or upload the same video. But in terms of, remaking a video, absolutely. You're probably better at it now. Your audience that you have now is different than the audience that you had then. And there's also going to be just a few people that have watched that older content compared to the audience that you have now. So like, for example, if I make another video that I made when I first started my channel now, then I have, like a whole new audience of people that are going to be able to see that content compared to what I had when I first started the channel. Tech Review 2000 is our next question. Tech Review 2000 says they have a tech channel, and the goal of the channel is I want to provide people with unbiased tech reviews with a twist of humor. And the question is, I very recently started offering shout outs to my viewers. That the way they can get a shout out is to fill out a form on my channel banner. Do you think this is a beneficial way to grow the channel? Absolutely not. So basically, when it comes to that, what you're doing is you're basically saying, hey, if you subscribe to my channel, then I'll give you a shout out. That's a horrible way to grow your channel. And the reason for that is because YouTube isn't going to show your content to people just because you gave somebody else a shout out. YouTube is going to show your content to people because you're making high response content, or at least competitive content. What I mean by that is your videos are getting a competitive click-through rate. Your videos are getting a competitive amount of view duration. That means that people are sharing your videos at a competitive rate. That means people are coming back to your channel. They're subscribing. All the stuff that YouTube uses to deem your video as a quality experience for their users. When you do that, that's what's going to help your channel grow. Little like schemey type things like that, it's not going to do anything. It might get some people, but if you want to like really grow your channel for real, the way to do that is to make content that adds value to other people in some way. Package it up in terms of title, thumbnail, and topic, thumbnail, and title. Package it up in a way from the outside to where it's intriguing to a certain type of viewer, and make the content itself to where it adds tons of value to the people that are watching. And values, we all, see value in different ways, but the typical types of values that people get: entertainment, thinking of things in a different way, in terms of like, well, I never even thought of it that way. Introducing people to new ideas, motivating people, inspiring people, teaching people how to do stuff, all of those things, shocking people, actually going completely against people in terms of, like somebody thinks this way and you're, being an opposer to that idea. Those types of things are all value. So basically in your content, you got to make sure that you are adding value. If you really want to grow your channel, you got to add value to people, and you have to be able to package that value up from the outside so that it's intriguing enough to actually get people to click on it. Because if you can't get people to click, then you're never going to get people to watch. So the very first step in the process is your thumbnail and title is that first point of contact with a new person or even a returning person for your YouTube channel. So because of that, you have to get really, really good at getting people to click on what it is that you're doing. And then you have to make sure that you're also getting really, really good at keeping people watching your videos for a fair amount of time. It doesn't have to be the whole video, right? It just has to be enough to where YouTube deems it as a quality experience for the viewers. The longer, the better, but it doesn't have to be the entire video in order for YouTube to deem it as a quality experience. The All-Terrain Dude is our next question. The All-Terrain Dude. Oh, we got a channel member here.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Joel Scrape, okay. Welcome to the channel membership. Welcome to the Nimminati. Make sure next time you're on Facebook, you look for Nimminati VIP. That is our members only Facebook group. There are also some members only videos as well, where you can have a direct link to that in the video descriptions of those particular videos also. So just as a heads up there, look forward to seeing you over in the Facebook group. Okay, so the All-Terrain Dude says that they do mountain biking and riding and racing. The goal of the channel is showing other riders my journey, becoming a mountain bike athlete and learning to race mountain bikes. That's cool. Sounds like exciting. Like it's like an adrenaline channel. Sounds cool. The question, I just looked at the screen. I was like, it looks a little tilted compared to what it looks like normally. Gonna have to tighten things up over there. But basically the question is, will making more videos at a high profile mountain bike destinations get me more exposure, or will optimizing videos made more locally for search, tips, tricks, and fitness training vlogs? And do you have any tips for making interesting videos for fitness, since I won't be able to ride much when winter comes around? I've struggled with making good vlogs before, and any tips would help. Okay, so when it comes to making videos at high profile mountain bike destinations or doing videos made for search in terms of tips, tricks, and training, all that kind of stuff, which will get more views. One, it comes down to how good you are at getting people to click. Like I just went through, like a destination video, you probably have less people competing for you for a destination video. You might have less people competing for you at a destination video, which might give you a better chance to actually show up for there, but you're gonna have to do the research to figure out for the different destinations, which ones you have a better chance at. But if you're gonna be there, make a video there. Like do it anyway. Like just go ahead and make a video there so that you have those also, and do the tips videos, the tricks videos, the training videos, all that stuff. Do those too. So you don't have to just have videos that are of the high profile spots. You don't have to just have videos that are tips and tricks. You can do both. And then by doing this, what you're doing is you're actually becoming a resource for mountain biking content. So what I would do in that situation is, if you're trying to become a resource for mountain biking content, you're becoming an authority in the mountain bike world. What you want to do in that situation is you want to think, okay, I'm going to hit all these cool destinations. I'm going to share the content there about those. Therefore, not only am I a mountain biker, but I'm a mountain biker that's traveling around all these cool destinations. Point up on authority, right? In terms of like, hey, this dude's like really doing it. He's serious about this. This person's really, they're really doing it. They're serious about this. In terms of the tips and tricks and all that good stuff, it's like, hey, this person's knowledgeable about this. So I'm a mountain biker. I'm considering going to this destination. So I'm going to check out that video. I'm also going to check out this other video on, riding techniques, or, how to fix a flat quickly. I don't know. I'm just winging that, but basically, like how to, riding techniques, or how to fix a flat quickly, or how to break your bike down quickly in order to get it into a vehicle so that you can, quickly get it out and put it all together and get on your ride, whatever those tips and tricks are. But basically the idea is, just like my channel is a resource for content creators, your channel can be a resource for mountain bikers. And part of being that resource is sharing all the different stuff about it. Just like I share stuff about live streaming and, mindset and mobile content creation and YouTube tips, yours is destinations, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. So yeah, I would do all of them. You're going to make a ton of videos on YouTube. Like if you're somebody that's in that situation to where you're like, hey, like I'm in this boat, so to speak, where I'm still reaching the same audience, like here, mountain bikers. I'm still reaching that same audience. So what other content could I make to where that other content would also be a good fit for mountain bikers, right? So think about that with your content. Think about, I'm making this type of content now for this particular, type of person, or these particular people that are interested in this thing. What other types of content can I make that these people are also interested in around this particular topic? If it's knitting, quilting, gaming for a particular game, if it's gear, if it's mountain biking, if it's cooking, if it's, audio, like whatever it is, how can I make my channel into a resource for this type of content? Even if you're doing entertainment content, if you're doing comedy, right? Any of that stuff. How can I make my channel a resource for comedy content? How can I make my channel a resource for entertainment content? So people can come in, they know, they watch this video, it's entertaining. They go to my channel page, they watch another video that's entertaining, and they're like, wow, this is great. I'm going to subscribe here. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to watch more here because these were super entertaining. And then when another video gets presented to me on a homepage from their archive, or a new video, I'm clicking on that one too, because it's super entertaining, or it's super informative, or whatever the thing happens to be. But basically look at your YouTube channel like it's a resource for a certain type of content, just like back in the day, before they turn it into whatever it is now, MTV used to be a resource for music videos, right? So it was VH1, I think. But basically, like the Discovery Channel, that's a resource for a certain type of content. Nat Geo, it's a resource for a certain type of content. Lifestyle or Lifetime, I don't know. I don't live in the States anymore, so I'm not sure if that's even still around. But basically, each channel, they target certain types of people with the types of content that they make for TV channels. So what you want to do is you want to say, okay, well, my YouTube channel is like a TV channel. And since it's like a TV channel to where it's going to have all of these different videos in there, instead of looking at it like, hey, I'm just putting out these, these videos, look at it like I'm creating a resource for a certain type of viewer for a certain type of content. So by doing that, what that does is that opens you up and gives you freedom to where you can say, you know what? I don't have to get stuck in the weeds trying to figure out all these little, details about stuff. All I know is that I need to just keep making videos for this channel, for this particular type of audience that is a resource, for that person, so that I can fill up my entire YouTube channel with this type of content, so that as people find it over time, they're like, wow, where's this channel been? This is incredible. This is great. This is so useful, helpful, entertaining, informative, funny, whatever it happens to be. But to where people are like, wow, this is great. This is exactly what I've been looking for, or I didn't even know this was here. I'm subscribing. I'm in. I'm going to watch this stuff, right? That's the idea. All right. Yeah. Tonsils, maybe. Nairi Squires. I don't know how far up the chat that was, but yeah, tonsils. No, I had my tonsils taken out when I was just a wee lad. I had my tonsils stolen from me is what it was. Actually, I didn't consent. That's the thing these days, right? Like people have to they have to give permission for hey, the dentist is going to check this tooth. Okay, yeah, dentist, you can check that tooth. Okay, well, now they're going to check this tooth. Okay, yes, dentist, you can check that tooth now. But yeah, tonsils, they were stolen from me as a child. I had no say in the thing. They just took them. Okay, so let's see here. Next up, we've got Aston Regis. What's up, my man? Nice to see you in here as well. Let's see here. The type of channel is helping video creators and filmmaking with filmmaking, video editing tutorials. Just a heads up. So I want to let you guys know. So Vigard, he's in the chat right now. Aston Regis, he's in the chat right now. Both of these guys are making Adobe Premiere tutorials like crazy. You should be subscribed to Vigard. If you are a Adobe Premiere user, you need to be subscribed to Vigard because he's showing some really cool stuff over there. Like his skill set is off the charts, completely off the charts. So if you are a Premiere user, you need to be watching Vigard's videos. You need to be watching his tutorials. You also need to be watching his actual cinematic filmmaking type content, as well his stories, because you need to be analyzing them to see how he puts them together because he's just incredible at putting that stuff together. Aston Regis also does tons and tons and tons of Adobe Premiere tutorials as well. So if you're trying to figure out Premiere, go subscribe to him as well. But the goal of the channel is to help 12 million people with video creation. And the question is, hey, Nick, I just wanted to say congratulations on 700,000 subscribers. Thank you. It's well-deserved. I think your success comes from your focus on helping others grow. What would you say your success comes down to? And what would your advice be to people watching who want to model your success? Our video, okay, that's a really good question. Thank you. So basically, in terms of advice, if you're wanting to model what's happened with me, it's important that you think of the people that are watching your content and think of how you can give them exactly what it is that they come to your channel for. And you can do that over and over and over again. I'll be honest. Sometimes when it's time to make a how to get views video, sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not super pumped to make this video, but I'm going to get myself pumped up because people need to hear this. Because in order to get in front of more new people that need this help with this type of content to understand how to do this, I need to make these videos. So because of that, even though it might not be the most thrilling videos to make, I still make those particular videos because it's the videos that people need. It's the videos that people need. It's also the videos that bring more people to my channel. So because of that, I recommend that you think about what is it that people come to my YouTube channel for? What is it that people want from me? So in a lot of cases, one thing that a lot of content creators go through, how I was talking about that journey before, one stem off of that journey, for those of you that have been hanging out in the stream, one stem on the journey is some content creators, they'll go and they'll grow their channel and they'll get to a certain point. And then it starts becoming all about them. And, they have an audience and they want everything to be about them so much that they start damaging the channel, right? Some people can pull that off. Some people can make that transition to where it's hey, now I'm going to start making videos that are just about me and the stuff that I care about. And they can take that path and it works. But for a lot of people, most, it doesn't. And it's really important to make sure that you understand why people are coming to your YouTube channel. For example, I know that the people that come to the channel on a regular basis, the people that hang out here and the people that are watching all the videos and hanging out in the live streams, all that good stuff, you could get this information that I'm sharing anywhere. You could get this information by reading blog posts. You could get this information by watching other people who make content like I do. And some of you do. There's a lot of crossover there. However, I know that some of you come here because you like the way that I communicate. You like the stuff that I stand for in terms of hey, YouTube's something that you have to work at. You want to stay positive. You want to inspire your audience, not just make content for them. You want to lift people up. You want to, kind of lead the way. You want to lead by example, all that good stuff. And some of you, like that part of it. But the majority of people on my YouTube channel, they're not here. They're not here for that. They're here strictly for the information because they want to know how to grow their YouTube channel. And, because of that, I know that. And this will not become like a vlog because of that, right? Because I know what it is that you want from this particular YouTube channel. So that's what I feed the channel, so to speak. So one thing you got to think about is you have to identify what is it that people actually, come to my content for. And the way that you uncover this is you experiment. So for example, sometimes every now and then I'll make like vlog style content, and that vlog style content is a little bit loose. It's still, YouTube type content, but I put that content out and I'll see how people respond to it. I'll also do some like mindset videos every now and then. I haven't done one of those in a long time, but I'll do, things like that. And those are just like dipping my toe in the water to see how people respond to different things about me and, what it is that I do and how I do things. So because of that, what you can do is you can start experimenting with stuff and see how people respond to it, and see if people come to your channel for you or if people come to your channel for the actual stuff that you do. And, of course, there's going to be crossover, right? Because people, connect with people anyway, even if it's for the stuff that you do, they just like how you do it compared to others. So therefore they might watch you more. But it's just really important to make sure that, that you understand why it is that people come to you so you can embrace it. Because if you know why it is that people come to you and you just get out of your own way and you just say, you know what, I would love to do like this other content over here on the channel. However, I can create a new YouTube channel for that. And I can do that there. And I'm just gonna keep giving people what it is that they want from me here. And I'm gonna focus on the value that I'm bringing to others instead of making this a thing about me. Now, I do want to say that again, some people do go that route. And, in terms of like, hey, I'm going to start doing everything and making it about me. And it works out great. So because of that, I encourage you to experiment. But, if it doesn't work out, exactly the way that you want, then, then just go back to what it was that you're doing before. I worked with somebody one time. I've actually had this happen twice, but one time, pretty big channel, over 1 million subscribers. And on this particular channel, they were making a certain type of content and they wanted to keep making this certain type of content. And I told them, they're like, okay, hey, we want to keep making this certain type of content, but we want to grow faster. And I'm like, okay, well, you're giving me the situation here, but all of the data is showing that you just need to double down on all of this stuff over here, all of this different type of content that you're making over here. You need to double down on that because that's what people are coming to you for. You want people to be into like you, and you want people to be like into like the family unit and all that stuff, which some of the audience is. But that's not ultimately what people are coming to you for. So because of that, sure, you can make some of that content, but you can't expect that content to perform as well as the other stuff and to generate everything that the other stuff does, because that's just not what people are coming to you for. So you have to, in their case, I was like, you gotta, like if you want to, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You have to, go this route and do these things and make this if you want to grow faster, or you have to just accept that we're going to grow at the rate that we're growing. Sure, we're going to have some videos pop here and there, but we're having this content that people come to us for, and then we're also making this content that we're passionate about in terms of it just being about us, them and their family and all that good stuff. So when it comes to that, you just have to be really objective with what it is that people are coming to you for. And you can also use your data for that too. Like once you do start experimenting, if you do, and you start experimenting with the like vlogs and that kind of stuff, then you'll start getting some insights really quick on how people, respond to the different stuff and what it is that they're coming to you for. All right, next up on our list, we've got Rainbow Colors HD. Rainbow Colors HD says they've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. Gaming how-to content, gold channels to get 20 million subscribers, donate all my YouTube money to the needy people all around the world. And the question is, I have a lot of viewers, but a little subscribers. How can I make all my viewers subscribe to my channel and never unsubscribe again? You can't. Skya Siberian says that they've been on they upload 1 time per week or more. The goal of the channel is the type of channel is dog vlogs, education videos with my husky. And the goal of the channel is to entertain others and build my brand and making a living off of it, of course. And the question is, hey, Nick, love your content. Thank you. It's been very helpful in getting started here on YouTube. My issue is this. I already have a large following on TikTok, which has helped boost my channel's initial growth. But I find that by virtue of this, the age of my audience is quite young. I don't mind interacting with and serving younger audience, but it makes earning money through affiliate links very difficult, as viewers this young never touch those links. is there any way to reach a slightly older audience, ideally without having to change up my content too much, as my style of content is part of my already established brand and what I'm known for? Thank you. So if you currently have a younger audience on your YouTube channel, then in that situation, like if the type of content that you're making, if you have a younger audience in your channel, then how you're putting your content together, the topics that you're talking about in your channel, or the type of content that you're making is the type of stuff that, that generates that younger audience. It's on YouTube, TikTok, wherever it happens to be. So because of that, if you are having some overflow come from TikTok, but you notice that it's actually bringing your age demographics down, it's fine as long as you still have the older demographics as well, the people that would actually buy things. Because like one thing that you got to think about is by having a lot of activity happening on your videos, sure, you're going to have a lot of those younger people seeing it, but those younger people seeing it and reacting positively to it is going to help it get in front of more of the other people that you're trying to reach as well. So your conversions might be lower in terms of, for every 10 viewers I get X amount, for every 1,000 viewers I get X amount convert for me. That number might be lower because you have a larger, younger audience. But if that larger, younger audience is also helping you get in front of more people that would be qualified to click and buy those links, then it's not that big of a deal. So even though your conversion might be lower, they're still helping you get in front of those people because they're showing a positive response to that content. Now, of course, age-wise and interest-wise and all that stuff, the older people still have to show a positive response also. But those younger people showing that this is a positive experience helps YouTube test it against the older people, which then, depending on how they respond to it, is going to help those people come in and then possibly, click on your affiliate link. So other things to think about: the music that you're using in your videos, because, some music is for, certain age graphics or demographics. Other videos are for other types of music are for other, age demographics. You also want to think about, how you're editing your videos and all of that as well, for the sake of making sure that you're matching up properly with who it is that you're trying to reach. This is why it's so important to know who it is that you're after with your content. Man, my throat's doing some really weird things right now. Okay. So yeah. So when it comes to that, just embrace it, but still try to age up just a little bit in terms of, like if there's something that you're doing topically, to where you're like, what, of course, younger person, actually you're doing dog vlogs. So if you're doing dog vlogs and education videos, maybe start focusing more on just some like general how-to stuff. Because general how-to stuff, as long as you can get people to respond to that, then in that case, you're getting in front of just people in general that are looking for how to do stuff with their husky or, around, with their dog. So that might also help you age up your audience as well. Kitchen draft. Thank you, Brian's World. Brian's World says, I like your cup. Thank you. It's a Tube Buddy cup. More on the way. I've got a pair of like sweatpants coming. I've got another hoodie coming. I think I might have a coffee cup in there as well, for the TubeBuddy merch kit that they're sending. I've got merch coming from TubeBuddy, merch coming from StreamYard. I think Social Media Marketing World is sending me, or Social Media Examiner is sending me some stuff from their YouTube Marketing Summit, from the presentation I did there. Got all kinds of merch coming my way. Okay, so Kitchen Draft says that they do cooking content. The goal of the channel is...
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
The goal of the channel is to teach people how to cook simple recipes, and in a long term to make this a full-time job. I'll keep cooking regardless, but making a living from what I love is definitely something that would make me happy. See that money theme that I was talking about? So we just got like a few right in the first ones. And it's funny how it just keeps coming through. The question says, hey, Nick, if I don't use hey, will you anyway? I would. I absolutely would. That's a great observation. I love people like you. That's a great observation. Love it. Says, I love your channel. Hey, I love your channel, and I appreciate all the work that that you put into teaching us YouTube related stuff. I've been on YouTube for 9 months and I have 500 subscribers. Good or bad, I'm happy that I have a community that is slowly growing. Let's say that you have a cooking channel the size of mine. Would you start monetizing now, or would you focus on growing bigger first? Definitely, I would start monetizing now. I have a feeling that you'll say both, but how should I monetize a small cooking channel efficiently? P.S. What's your favorite recipe, or what cooking channel would you watch? Thanks in advance. So in terms of recipe, I've never made this, but my mom she got a recipe from my grandma. I don't know what it is. I should hit my mom up for it actually and have her print it out for me. But basically, there's this meatball recipe where it would take my grandma like a couple of like days, I think. I don't know. At least that's the story we were told as kids. But it would take my grandma like, you know, all this time to make these meatballs. And my mom can make them too. But that particular meatball recipe is probably like the recipe that I would be most interested in. But on YouTube, there's probably better meatballs recipes. But that's definitely one that I would be of interest in. But in terms of if I had a channel like yours, how I would start monetizing. So basically the very first thing that I would do, of course, is to turn on YouTube ads. Actually, you're not there yet. Okay, so in that case, what I would do is I would put together, if I had a cooking channel and I was specifically doing recipes, to monetize, you could make a recipe book, a downloadable recipe book. You could charge, you know, $10 for it, $20 for it, whatever it happens to be, but you could make it into a PDF. And then people could pay to download that recipe book, because the people that are coming in and watching your videos right now, your sales might be a little bit low, but as your channel grows, you'd be able to ride that asset for forever, for the entire life of your channel. If you created that PDF to where people would be able to download your recipe for a fee. And then I would also create a print on demand book version of that recipe as well. So then they can get a print version off of Amazon if they would like, or Printful or wherever. But they would get a print on demand version of that book. You can look into like self-publishing, like Dale Roberts, for example, self-publishing with Dale. He hops into the chat from time to time, but he's a great resource for that type of information. But basically a downloadable PDF that you could sell, a actual book that you could sell on Amazon as well, that would just be print on demand. Basically, you'd be repurposing that PDF that you made into an actual print on demand book. I would do that. In addition to that, I would also get like merch that would be like aprons and like cooking glove or cooking mitts, I think they're called. But like that kind of stuff, anything like that you could also put like little cook phrases on, things that like people that are into cooking would be interested in, or they would find clever or funny. I would make tons of that stuff. I would make it available for my YouTube channel. I would also put it in all the merch stores. So it wouldn't just be, you know, like, hey, I'm just going to put this in Teespring so I can have it in my merch shelf. I would put it on Teespring. I'd put it on Redbubble. I'd put it on Spreadshirt. I'd put it on Amazon. I would everywhere, any type of merch store, I'd put it there. Let's see here. What else? So we've got the recipe thing. We've got that. I would offer one-on-one cooking lessons, because like for me, like I don't cook. I typically like eat out, or you know, like my girlfriend will cook something or whatever. Like I'll cook basic stuff, but I don't get like really into cooking. So, you know, for people like me, you know, like if I was wanting to learn how to, you know, how to put food together in a way that would be a little bit more exciting, then in that situation, you know, you could sell like, you know, coaching services.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
And let's see here, you could do coaching services of some kind. You could also put together a course that you could offer on like Udemy, Skillshare, or on your own, or Teachable or Thinkific, whatever, that you would offer like a process. Like, okay, you know, like basically I'm taking new cooks and I'm teaching you, if you don't know anything about cooking, I'm taking you through, you know, like all the different things that cooks teach people. If you were to go to cooking school, I would take people through that process, or at least through the process of teaching them how to cook like you do. I would also consider putting together things related to cooking. So I worked as a client. I worked with a YouTube channel that did rubs for cooking. It was like flavor seasoning stuff. And their YouTube channel still drives tons and tons and tons of business. So basically their YouTube channel drives like millions of dollars in sales just from their YouTube channel for that and the other things that they offer. But basically I would definitely, you know, look into doing something like that, your own products around cooking. And the idea with all this stuff is you'd want to do it all. And then while you're doing it all, you also want to make sure that you are, you know, like as your channel is growing, that you're maintaining all of this stuff so that by the time you get to like 10,000 subscribers, your day-to-day existence would be, if you did all these things, your day-to-day existence would be around your YouTube channel and running the businesses that you would have around your YouTube channel with all these different things that you're doing. Most of the things that I talked about, the only thing that would be active work would be uploading videos to your YouTube channel, and any customer service that you had with your course stuff. Consulting would also be, actual labor that you would have to put in, and anything, if you created any external products that you would have to keep sourcing and all that stuff, then you would also have to do that as well. But in terms of like the affiliate stuff and the merch stuff, both of those are relatively passive. You just make them once and then they're done. In terms of the, what was the other one? The recipe book, you make that once, it's done. You could create an entire series. You could do like recipes of the world. You could do, like to where it's like, hey, these are recipes that we love from Thailand. These are recipes that we love from India. These are recipes there's a recipe book for Thai food. There's a recipe book for Indian food, recipe book for Western food, recipe book for Italian food. And so you have like an entire recipe catalog that would be PDF downloads and books. But anyway, you get the idea. So basically, I would do that if I was trying to monetize as quickly as possible. And if I was trying to make this a full-time job, I would start working on those things right away. So one thing that when I started my YouTube channel, the original idea was I was just going to do email addresses. But once I started getting a handle, I'm like, oh, this is the potential here. When I came back to my channel for another channel that I worked on, I was still doing the design stuff, and I knew that I had to go full-time as fast as possible so that I could go all in on this. And in order to do that, I had to create a website. So that website's still online right now. You can still buy stuff from it. You can still join the membership. It's called tubertools.com. But I made that website so that I could spread awareness about it and send people there to get video assets and graphics and end screens and stuff like that for their videos. And they started selling right away. But I also, because I didn't have, as many views at the time, so another thing that I did to monetize quickly is I started offering services, which would be your version of consulting for food. But basically those services were off of TuberTools, and the TuberTools services that I offered were custom graphics packages. So basically you would order the package. It would be between, when I first started, it was like, $200, and then they went all the way up to $500 by the time I, closed it all on the service side. But basically you would get like a channel art, you would get an end screen, you would get a lower third, with your name on it, you'd get a video transition. And I think that's it. But basically, it was all custom made. And then that basically made it possible really quick for me to go all in on YouTube. So what you need to do if you're trying to do this for a living, anybody that's trying to do this for a living, what you got to do is you got to think about, okay, what's available? What ways do people make money online? And how can I take those and apply them to what it is that I'm doing in order to start building revenue from here? Because here's the thing. If you can build those things now, when you're at, and I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but it's really important, and I'm spending time on it intentionally because there's been a lot of stuff in here about making money today, a lot of questions about making money. But one of the things that's really important to make sure that you understand if you're trying to do this full time and you're trying to make a lot of money off of it, is that right now, while you have 500 subscribers, you have time. You have a lot more time than you are probably going to have once you have all of this stuff working for you. And once, you start, really start digging into your YouTube channel and all that. So because of that, I recommend that you start putting as much of this stuff together as possible now, so that as your channel grows, your income grows. And as your channel and income grows, you can start using some of that money that you're generating to have other people help you with it, so that you don't get, completely to the point where you have no time in your day because you're just managing all the stuff that you're doing, so that you can make sure that you're able to, fully take full advantage of the opportunity that you have here on YouTube, especially with this type of, cooking content. But for anybody, if you're trying to monetize, if you are just starting your YouTube channel, or even if you've had a channel for a long time, even if you've got 1 million subscribers, but you've never monetized outside of ads, you need to find other ways that you can make money on your channel, because there's money that you're leaving on the table if you're trying to use YouTube as an income source. Because when people don't do this stuff and they don't do it while they're early in the process, the next thing they know, because, the ad money can be great, right? The ad money can be fantastic. The ad money by itself can be a full-time job, or not full-time job, but a full-time income. But outside of that, there's also a lot of additional money that you could make. So sometimes people will get into this thing to where they have this intention of hey, I'm going to make this stuff, I'm going to do these things, and then they don't do them. And I see the super chats coming in. I'm going to address them right here in a second. But the thing is they'll get comfortable with the ad revenue. So since they get comfortable with the ad revenue, next thing you know, they've got 1 million subscribers and they're doing okay. Maybe they're doing great. But they're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table because they didn't put this stuff together, and they don't have an entire backlog of content that got them to 1 million subscribers that's pushing forward in terms of pushing people into the stuff that they've created over time. So because of that, it's really important to start working on that stuff now and get it together now, and that's going to help you quickly or more quickly be able to go full time or all in on your YouTube channel. But don't get me wrong, it's work. It's a lot of work, and there's a lot of time. There's like when I was going through that transition, like I literally was like, that's all I was doing. YouTube videos, design, my website. That's it. So design work, working on my website, YouTube videos. Okay. So next up on our list, I'm going to go ahead and address some of these super chats real quick. Okay.
Super chat.
Let's see here. Okay. Poetry and Prophecy says, it's always a pleasure to be here. Your personality is refreshing, not like a lot on YouTube. Thank you for that. Love comments like that. It makes me feel good. So thank you. Next up, we've got White Noise Studio.
Chat.
Says, should I create a new clip shorts channel for a new series of vids, which are quick answers to questions of my community, videos shorter than 60 seconds? So if you're talking about like YouTube shorts, give it a shot and see. Like, I haven't even used a short yet. And the reason for that is just because I just haven't gotten around to it. But I'm also juggling the idea of maybe doing like a shorts channel, but like it's gonna get out of control, so I probably won't. Because like right now I have my current channel, I just did the clips channel. I also have the podcast channel that I'm gonna launch once I get some momentum going on the live channel. So because of that, that's just like one more thing I got to maintain, one more thing I got to answer comments on and all that. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, but if you have the time, then sure, give it a shot. And the reason that you should give it a shot is because I know some people are getting like really good views on their shorts because it's a new feature. It always works like this, but they're getting really good views on their shorts. And those views are carrying over to their YouTube channel. So because of that, you might actually want to try some on your current channel just to kind of see how it goes. And then based on if that starts to taper off or not, then go ahead and start like a new channel form or whatever. But right now, there's not tons of people that are doing the shorts, because now what you have to do is you have to make the video shorter than 60 seconds and you have to put a hashtag short or shorts, and then it will just go ahead and pick it up. That's the way to do it instead of actually just pressing the button on it. So if you are going to take that approach, and I think you have to do it like vertical as well, but when you are, going after that, I would try it on your current channel first because it might give you a lift there. And then once that starts to taper off, then try taking it to another channel, or just keep it on your channel if you find that it brings a lot of people in. Tim Wolf.
Super chat.
Sudden spike in traffic with a yay after it. Says, reviewing Taylor Swift's last album, but all my traffic is coming from browse feature, not suggested or search. It's fine. Don't understand what is browse. 98% of the viewers are non-subscribers. Okay, so browse is homepages and subscriptions. So if you don't have a lot of subscribers, then that means that it's coming from homepages. So you can see this in your stats. If you go in to your stats and you click on the traffic sources and then you click on browse, then you'll see homepage and subscriptions. So it's awesome that you're getting all that traffic from the homepage. Embrace it, right? So basically, when my channel is thriving, because basically like my channel, it goes like this. And when it's thriving, my browse traffic is at the highest. So I've seen that tons. I've basically suggested in browse. When those are the highest, then channels, typically do well, unless you have a large library that is well ranked in search, because search can do fantastic for you as well. But basically, getting browse is not a bad thing, even though you're looking at it like, hey, I'm not getting suggested traffic or search traffic. I'm just getting browse traffic. Like, just getting browse traffic is actually awesome, because that means that you're able to convert people when your videos just show up on the homepage. So you're on the right path. You're doing great things. Keep it up. Science-based fitness.
Super chat.
Says, second question, I got a Canva subscription and now I know how to make thumbnails. Should I update the old thumbnails? Also, do you think Canva is worth it? Yeah, Canva, Place It. any of those places, you know, the template based things, they're all a great place to start. Like if you don't have design experience, and you don't want to accidentally over design to where it kind of makes everything kind of weird in terms of, you know, like your thumbnails look like crap and they're not effective at all because you kind of overdid it. The template places are great because, you know, you can look at it. You can be like, hey, this is a pretty, you know, it's a pretty good looking thing. It's easy to focus on what I need to focus on. So yeah, I think all of those template services are fantastic. Canva, you know, all of them because of that. They help non-designers be able to design. So yeah, I think it's fine. In terms of the old thumbnails, if you go through and you find that that your click-through rate is exceptionally low based on the impressions that you're getting, then in that case, then yeah, I would update the thumbnails, but don't update them just for the sake of updating them. Make sure that you're updating ones that are not as effective as the other ones, in order to you know, to go ahead and update. What I would do in your situation is I would, if you have TubeBuddy Legend, that's awesome. I would use their A/B testing tool. If you don't have TubeBuddy's Legend package, I would upgrade for a month. And that month, I would be testing thumbnails like crazy. Go ahead and make your thumbnails, get them all ready, and then upgrade your package to a Legend, test thumbnails, and then downgrade your package until you do the next batch. So for that, I would definitely, you know, use TubeBuddy for that. Let's see here. Next up, we've got Tax Shack Tom Curry says, hey, Nick, I hope that you're well, buddy. Congrats on 700,000 subscribers. Thank you for that. High five fist bump. I appreciate it. And let's see here. We had some more come through. We had some more stuff going on over here. Let's see here. And
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Roger Wakefield, welcome back, my man. I hope that you are doing fantastic. Welcome back to the Nimminati there. I mean, not like you ever left the Nimminati, but welcome back to the membership. Thank you for coming back. And the next one that we have here, I was going to go through the whole spiel and like make sure you go to Facebook and all that stuff, but you're already there, so good to go.
Super chat.
So let's see here as we keep going through. We got Adam's Exploit says, congratulations on reaching 100 or 700,000 subscribers. Thank you. You are the most respected channel that I know in your niche. Well deserved. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Those kind word ones are like, right? It's like, like because you see them and then you read them and then it's like, I'm live in front of people, so I can't like take that in emotionally. I got to move on to the next one. But it's like, love those. Thank you. Vaping with Mobro
Super chat.
says, my channel seems to have hit a plateau around the 715 mark for months now, despite uploading content. Any tips for getting the subs rolling again? Comes down to value, man. Like if people are watching your videos, but they're not subscribing to what it is that you're doing, it means that they can't see the clear value and what it is that they're going to get out of the videos that you are putting out, or that they're just not finding value in the content itself. Now, if you're not getting views, then of course, you know, it's not going to be possible to get subscribers. So then you got to work on that. You got to work on your topics, titles, thumbnails, and the actual video content. But if you have views coming in, but you're not getting them to subscribe, then that means that they can't clearly identify the value that they are going to get from your YouTube channel in each individual video. Okay. So because of that, you need to really make it clear what it is that you offer on your YouTube channel, why it should be important to somebody. Just think about the people you're making content for, which I'm guessing it's people that vape. So whoever it is that you're making content for, like you have to think like, okay, what is it that they care about? How can I give them that so that they will return in kind with a subscribe to the YouTube channel? Because the more value that you can give, the more that you will get back in return. I promise you. You know, it's weird. Like my whole life, I always heard people saying that stuff. And it wasn't until YouTube that I really understood it. It wasn't until like I started just like freely giving information and like, you know, because like I have a course coming, but you know, 700,000 subscribers and I don't have a course out yet. Like that's unheard of in the type of content that I make and just in general, like marketing type content, that's absolutely unheard of. And I think that is one of the things that has helped my channel do well, is because it's like crystal clear that, you know, that I want people to do well. And, you know, because of that, you know, it's something people respond to. So like people absorb that value and then people respond in like, hey, I'm going to subscribe to this channel because it's a great resource. I get a lot of value out of this. Debbie
Super
Collington
chat.
says, planning a sewing channel. I want to do reaction videos, reaction reviews of catwalk shows discussing the techniques fabrics used by the designers. The rules on copyright confuse me. Is this possible? If so, how? Yeah, technically you can absolutely do review videos, but you just have to make sure that what you're doing is fair use. So you can't like download somebody else's videos and then just use them and just upload them to your YouTube channel. You can't do that. You have to do something that's transformative. So if you're doing reviews, then in that situation, like Roger, he's in here right now. So basically he does review videos to where he watches other videos on plumbing and then he reacts to them as a professional plumber. So in his situation, he's adding to those, he's making them transformative because he's adding his stuff to it. His images on the screen in terms of him, he's actually reacting to the video. Without his reaction, his videos wouldn't be what they are. So because of that, he's taken that piece of content and he's transformed it into something that is his own by simply reacting to it. So he's flying within the fair use rules, and he's also creating just a unique piece of content based on somebody else's. So so because of that, yeah, you can definitely do that here, but you just have to make sure that you are that you don't just like play it on the screen by itself and then you come on and then you react to it. Like you want to have yourself on the screen. You want to make it crystal clear that like you're adding something to every second of that content for the sake of just making sure that you're playing safe within the guidelines of fair use. All right. Let's see here. Next up on our list here, Techno's Gamer Tech says, I'm back, baby. Yeah. Okay, so we've got Debbie Collington says, planning is... Oh, we got that one already. Just got that one. Okay. Couldn't tell until I started reading it. Okay. So back to the form here. Next up on our list is Kitchen Draft. Kitchen Draft says, I do movie and TV reviews. The goal of the channel is to review film media and analyzing character development, theme, and symbolism. Oh, sorry, Her Real Review. And that's the name of the channel, Her Real Review. It says, I'm thinking of doing reactions, but can't figure out how people screen capture from places like Hulu, Netflix, etc. Done lots of research, but can't figure it out. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one either. And since that's technically teaching you how to violate copyright law, technically, I mean, in terms of like downloading it, and that's technically teaching you how to violate the terms of service of the different platforms. Technically, even if I knew how, I wouldn't be allowed to tell you. I got rules I got to follow too, you know. I actually got on my YouTube channel, I got a community guideline strike for a video that I made. I've since deleted the video, but the video was about downloading a YouTube thumbnail. And it used to be on YouTube that they didn't have the download button to download your own thumbnail. So because of that, you had to go into the code to download the thumbnail. So, you know, having, you know, some web design, you know, in my background, I was able to go in, read the code, find where the thumbnail was and download them that way. And I was like, hey, I'm going to make a video about this. And I made this video showing people how to go into the code of YouTube, download the thumbnail. And I clearly stated in the video, you know, you do not want to take other people's thumbnails. This is only so if you happen to be working on your videos when you're at a coffee shop or something, so that you can download your thumbnail if you happen to be referencing it in a video, right? Like that was the intention. But I screwed up because when the video first starts, I raise up out of the darkness. I've got a black ski mask on. You hear like crickets and things like that. And I say, I'm going to show you how to steal anybody's thumbnail on YouTube. And we're starting right now. And apparently that's all it took. And I got a community guideline strike for it. It got removed and all that stuff. I had to, you know, contest it, but it ended up getting removed. However, that taught me a very important lesson in terms of, you know, making sure that, you know, you don't show how to circumvent any other systems, because that's what the guideline strike was for. And you don't show people how to do things on other people's systems either, for the sake of making sure that you know, protect yourself and all that good stuff. So little side story there. Let's see here. John Polam, what's up, dude?
Super chat.
Says, hey, can you release your course on November 3rd? So will hopefully be the best day ever. Nimmin for president. What sets your course apart from others? Yeah, so it is going to be, I'm hoping for the very first week in November is kind of like my personal, like, okay, let's just go for it thing. So I'm hoping for the first week in December. So it probably won't be that day, but hopefully it'll be in the first week of November. In terms of what sets mine apart from others, It's basically I'm teaching you in my way, right? Because if you watch a lot of content creators, like me, that make this type of content, we all talk about the same general stuff, but we all do it in our own way, and we teach people in different ways, and we put emphasis on different things. So because of that, mine is basically my way of doing things, and the things that I've found work with people that I've worked with, and things that have worked for me personally. So that's what separates mine. Let's see here. And Squeeze Hard says, thanks a lot for your advice, Nick. I started my YouTube channel posting speed paint of my art, but it's not doing so well. I know I must add some more value, like how-tos or commentaries. So here's the thing. Speed art can do it. Speed art can do the trick, but you just have to get really good at the images that you choose for your thumbnails in terms of the speed art and how you're titling it as well. But speed art videos just by themselves can do okay. But adding those pillars of, teaching people how to do stuff, it's just an easier way to get attention. But, the speed art stuff definitely can. You're just going to have to polish that sword, so to speak. But in terms of, also making the other types of content, that's totally cool because that's just an easier way to get views. But in terms of the speed art, that stuff's cool because it gives you the potential to essentially go viral in some respect. So like with your speed art, one thing that I would recommend if you're not doing this already is anything that is happening. So we have, like, right now we've got the PlayStation coming out soon. We have the Oculus Quest just came out. So any games related to that. We have, let's see here. There's a new Avengers movie coming out with Black Widow. So that's coming out soon. What else? Basically, like, I would look into anything like pop culture type stuff that is on the way. And I would make art around that. I know Mandalorian's coming out again soon as well. So, making some like Baby Yoda stuff and some Mandalorian stuff, things like that, based around your interests, of course. But basically, like, look for things that are going to be trending and make really cool speed art around that. But it's got to be impressive because a lot of people are going to be doing this. But making your speed art around that sort of stuff gives you the opportunity to tap into a wider audience as well. All right. So next up, we've got Nickeling and Nickeling. I think that's it. So the type of channel is teaching, and the goal of the channel is to make money out of my videos by reaching 1,000 subscribers. And the question is, do you have any script or notes of the things that you will be saying on your live? How do you prepare when it comes to what to say? And one more thing, could you please show us around your set and explain what you have on your live? Example, I see an iPad in front of you. Why is that for? I'm more interested to know if you prepare a script before going live. Good question. So when it comes to my live streams, for these live streams, for Nimmin Live, I don't prepare. So if there's something major that happens on the platform, like a new rule or a new feature, something like that, then I'll mention it. But it's not something that I like script out or anything like that. Like, these things happen in real time. It's like a freestyle, so to speak, based on the questions that come in. So I have my intro stuff that I do. Hey, welcome to another Nimmin Live, the number one place on the internet to learn about YouTube, all that stuff. But in terms of, and that's just memorized, but in terms of, the direction that the stream goes, this is 1000% organic in terms of your questions come in, your super chats come in. I answered those questions based on, the stream flows, so to speak, and pun intended, I guess, but the stream flows around the questions that you ask. So it's impossible to script this. In terms of live streams that I do elsewhere, those live streams are also not scripted. However, they do have a bullet point list. And that bullet point list is basically, these are the things that I'm going to be talking about in this particular live stream. And that's as far as the script goes. Now, when it comes to the bullet points, I'll have like let's say that, look at your audience retention reports is one of my bullet points, or it might just say audience retention. So in that situation, if I wanted to expand on that a little bit and make sure I didn't, forget something, I might add a note. Oh, my iPad, my battery just died. I might add a note that says something like, so it'd be like audience retention, and then it would be graphs underneath it. It would just be graphs that show you what your audience retention means would be the note underneath. So then in that situation, I'd be talking about it. I'd be like, yeah, and another thing you got to make sure you do is that you keep an eye on your audience retention reports. It's a second by second report of how people respond to your videos. And the really cool thing in your audience retention reports, if you look at it and you don't know what it means, is they have a little graph over on the side. It's like a little eye icon. If you click on that, then it actually pops up this little chart that shows you what different versions of your audience retention or the displays that you're seeing. It shows you exactly what they mean. So, they would have just helped me remember to make sure that I told people that. So, so that's how I actually do it. Now, iPad, until just now, this is what I use to actually get the question. So the form that everybody puts their question in, it goes to a Google form, and then I pull that Google form up here so that, while I'm switching screens and I got all these different things going on in front of me, that I can have this one stationary thing that I am continuing to look at, and that I can sort with the questions, and I can move it around with me because, like I could be here, I could move over to here at any given time. And by doing those things, this is always in front of me, where I don't have to be by one of the computers, and I can move around freely if the opportunity presents itself. In terms of the setup, so I'm going to move these. We were talking about these earlier, so that's clear what these are. But basically my setup, I have actually, I'll use this as part of it too. So basically as part of the setup, I have the MacBook Pro 16 right here. I have the camera right here. This is this view right here. And that's the very tip of the pencil. But that's that view right there. That's this. It's a Sony A6500 with a Sigma 16 millimeter lens. This camera right here, this one, that is this right here. It is a Sony A5100 with that same lens on it. The camera over there is another 6500 with that same lens on it, but on a slider. This right here is the monitor, so I can check, make sure I'm centered, all that good stuff, make sure the camera's in focus. I have this as a audio recorder. This is for my videos. This same setup right here, I use this for my videos too. But this right here is an audio recorder. It's a Testcam something. I don't know the model number, but it's a Testcam. Basically, this mic right here is routing through it. So when I hit this record button, if I record a clip, which I only did a few this episode, so he's going to have to pull the whole thing down from the stream or from YouTube to cut it up for the clips. But basically here, when I hit this record button, this is pulling audio in from the camera, and that allows me to get a different audio than what it is that you're hearing right here as well. And if I switch to the desk, and this is the monitor that I use here. I have StreamYard on here as well, so I can see super chats come in, so that I can see like the chat, all that good stuff. And I can just, again, make sure that like whatever scene it is that I happen to be on, like if I think that I'm on this camera, I'll see this out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, oh, I'm on the wrong camera, and then I'll switch it back. In terms of my setup, the rest of it, these lights, these are Aperture. These are Aperture LED lights. As you can see, the name Aperture over on the side of that one as well. I also have, for my videos, I have Godex lights as well that I use that are also great. And this right here that this is sitting on is a switch pod. We gave one of these away, I think, last week or the week before. This is a Samsung Odyssey 49-inch. Let me do this one. This is a Samsung Odyssey 49-inch monitor. Love this thing, by the way. It basically takes like 3 monitors and combines it into one, and it's seamless. Really cool to game on, really cool for like editing, really cool for working with audio, and for making music too. So basically, like before the stream, for example, I had Fruity Loops open and I was just kind of working a beat out. So that's what that is. My audio is routed through this, which is a Rode Procaster. And the Rode Procaster basically is processing my voice. This mic is a Shure SM7B. Mic I have over here is a Rode Pod mic. And I'm using a Stream Deck to play the audio that you hear me play. And for the switching, here from my view, I'm using a ATEM Mini ISO. This is, gives me the option to be able to record any of the clips that I say. It records into this drive right here on the fly, which is pretty awesome. And this ISO actually, it records, and this is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but this records all of the scenes. So I have 4 different HDMIs coming in. I have 3 different cameras, and I have my computer, but this is recording all of them at the same time. So what I can do is, for Gleb, who does the edits for the Nimmin Live, I can record little clips in here and I can send them to him, and then he can actually edit these together as like actual videos too. So instead of just pulling it down from YouTube, but I'm working on the workflow for that still. It's just not as smooth as I want yet. But that's that. And then I actually have that one plugged into another one. And this one right here, another ATEM Mini, but it's just a normal Mini. And I have it that way so that I can actually get that signal into the computer as well. So that's pretty much the setup in a nutshell. All right. So now the questions are the questions are gone. My iPad is my iPad's down. Pad down. So let's see here. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to answer some super chats out of here, and then we'll see what happens next. Okay. So next up, we've got. Let me go down here. We got John.
Super chat.
My E-Class Invites. Thank you for the super chat. Squeeze Hard.
Super chat.
Says, thanks a lot for all your advice, Nick. I started my channel posting speed paint of my art. Okay, we got that one taken care of. Best of California.
Super chat.
Thank you. And Matt's RV review says, Nick, thanks so much for the channel elevations on the Nimminati Facebook group. I appreciate you doing that and being awesome. P.S. I sent you a private message on Facebook. Check it out later today under your name. Okay, cool. Will do. Okay, so with that out of the way, I want to say thank you everybody for hanging out in the stream today. My iPad's down now, so accessing the questions, I could do it from the computer, but then I'd have to, figure out where I was at and all that. And my voice is actually having my throat's getting like a little bit weird. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that hung out in the stream today. Here's the thing. Look, first, remember to try TubeBuddy at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin. Also try StreamYard and everything else. But the one thing that's really important to make sure that you remember is that, the stuff that we talked about in the stream today, any of the tips that you picked up, make sure that you apply something this week. If not all the things, make sure that you at least pick one thing and you work on that this coming week, and that you apply some of the stuff that you've heard during the stream, or at least something that you've heard in the stream, to your YouTube channel to help your YouTube channel do better, and keep doing that. So whatever it is that you're going to pick, apply it now and keep applying that. Make that part of your thing. And then, as these streams pass, then, take some of the information and then apply that, add that into, the things that you're going to improve. And again, thank you everybody for hanging out. I appreciate it again, for the 700,000 subscriber thing. Again, thank you so much for just being a part of this whole thing with me. It's just been an incredible thing. And of course, without you guys being a part of this and coming in and watching the videos and hanging out in the streams and all that stuff, like this experience wouldn't even be possible for me. So thank you so much for even making this a reality. It's incredible. And thank you for making it possible. So everybody have an awesome rest of your week, and have an awesome next week. And I will see you next Saturday. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, yeah. Okay, got that one. Okay. Yeah, so see you next Saturday. Oh, and if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to the Clips channel too. There's a link to that at the top of the comments right now. I'm just watching the number right now, and I'm just gonna watch it go. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna move over to here. Go ahead and change to this camera for fun. Right. So yeah, so what I'll probably do is, after this stream, I will probably open up Fruity Loops again. Start working on some, just mess around with some music, or my girlfriend and I will play some games, maybe. Not sure. But I'm just watching the numbers right now. I'm just waiting to see, like, okay, where's everybody leaving at? John, my pleasure, man. My pleasure. I love doing these things. Let's see here. I'm just going to pull some of these out of the chat too. Scully's House of Thriller saying there. Matt saying well-deserved. Thank you for that, Matt. Life on YouTube and Facebook says afternoon, evening. Hey, what's going on? What else? Baking with Charlene says see you later. See ya. Doug says thank you for value. Scully's House of Thriller says thanks, Nick. Got a bunch of thanks, Nicks there. Some hearts. Let's see here. Joelscape okay says my question was, I just got monetized with 26 videos. Should I mass post videos now, like 5 a day, or just keep one daily? So basically, when it comes to your posting schedule, it's important to make sure that you know that YouTube limits their notifications to 3 per day. So in terms of how much you should upload, pace yourself. YouTube is a very long experience. I mean, it can be fast too, but I mean, if you plan to do this for a long time, like, you're going to have a lot of videos in you. So instead of going 5 videos a day, do 1 a day, or 1 every couple of days, or 3 a week, or something like that. What I would do is I would do it in increments, to where you are uploading, let's say you start with like a video a week, and then you go to 2 videos a week and 3 videos a week. And you do that so that you can kind of pull your energy in, and make sure that you are able to sustain it for a long period of time, because there's a lot of work that goes into daily content. So because of that, you definitely want to make sure that you are, you want to make sure that you are, doing what you can. You don't want to overwhelm. It's easy to do too much. D.A. Damson says still here. Beanie Jaws
Super chat
says been lurking tonight. Congrats on the 700K. Thanks, Beanie. I appreciate that, man. All right. Car Galaxy says still here. Squeeze Hard says still here. All right. All right, everybody. Have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you next time.